Hello, CPAT with another Exceed commentary, and today we have another match from the Hallowed Nights tournament. This is a tournament run by Polterghost in the Breakfast Club Discord. First tournament to feature Season 6, and today we have a match between Chimera on red, on bottom side, versus Zain, top side blue. This is actually a rematch. We actually casted Chimera versus Zain in the previous tournament that we casted. I believe we saw Zain take that set 2-1. But of course, the character picks are different. So for this week, only Season 5 and Season 6 are allowed. Looks like Zain's going to be mulliganing 2 on the 9 the Phantom against Chimera's Aura. We'll zoom in on the cards a little bit later. Especially because, if I recall, the last set was the best of 3 and took 2 hours, so we might be here for a while, depending on how close these players are. Looks like Chimera's going to be mulliganing 5 cards, and we're off. But yeah, anyways, only Season 5 and Season 6 are allowed. It's kind of a drafting system. So Zane's characters are going to be 9 the Phantom, Noelle, and Yuzuriha. And Chimera has opted to draft Aurier, Enkidu, and Lychee, interestingly enough. So of course, the true mark of a 9 player is to take a look at how they've organized their sealed area. Looks like 9 with the turn 1 parry. Of course, Aurier it's not blessed with a parry with the Season 6 normals. Let's see what the parry target is. Parry target is Rest in Peace, this beautiful Ultra. I'll let you take a look at the cards later. It actually gets hit. Rest in Peace, one of the best counter hit Ultras in the game. At 1-2, 706, just monsters. But does like lose to like random things, like loses to Grasp, loses to those kind of things. Obviously loses to Spike, but does beat a lot of things. Relatively cheap Ultra at 2 gauge as well. Aurier, kind of a fencer, very answer heavy character, as we will see her in her cards later. And this is definitely a hell of an answer. Oh yeah. Anyways, the mark of a 9 player, of course, is how they organize their sealed area. Looks like we have a numpad until the very end, where 789 is backwards. Not really sure what's going on there, Zain. Come on. As we see Respect boosted from Aurier. So now Aurier, of course, we'll take a look at her cards. Where are her cards? Okay, I guess Chimera doesn't have her reference. Apologies, we're gonna be doing some wacky camera work early because Chimera does not have Aurier's references down. But as we can clearly see, this is a pretty close range character. The only ranged card is a really bad card. This is just a garbage card. It pulls as well. So we can very clearly tell Aurier kind of a melee-ish character. So this Respect makes sense. 9 the Phantom, of course, can be zoner-like. So it looks like the Androdite of Accord, the extra range, hit Advance or Retreat 2. Extra range is interesting to me, especially in this scenario. So the Respect will go off. So Chimera will get to draw 2 cards. As well as advancing 3, so getting the full value off that Respect, which is nice. Usually we see people strike into the Respect just so they don't get the 2 cards. So it's like a prepare action plus the plus run, all in 1 card. It's actually very good there from Chimera. Yeah, it's plus 0-1 range. I'm not really sure what's boosting right now. Just because it's, I don't know, we're at range 1, and it's probably just for the hit effect more than the range. So hit, advance, or retreat 2. So 9 definitely prefers a little bit more distance. Has like a super dodge here. Has like a super whirl here. Has some good ranged cards here. Has a really good range card here. Has a really good range card here. So this is definitely played by Zain for the hit effect more than the extra range. Plus Scroll of Catastrophe isn't a great card early. Becomes a monster stat line later, especially when boosted with a light. Can end up looking like a 2-3 8-6. But early this card is kind of middling, kind of mediocre, and the hit, advance, to retreat 2 probably is what the reason behind this boost is. Although Aurier does have a million ways to close as we look at her cards. All of her whatchamacallits, or continuous boosts have now advance or retreat 1 on them. So she moves across the board quite quickly. Alongside that, she is aerial leap as well on the boost that's not a continuous boost. And she also has with a super anti-fireball tool in Luminous Embrace, a 3-6-7-2. But take a look at that passive stat line. It attacks at range 4, do not hit you. After close 5, gain advantage. Wow. That's an anti-fireball if I've ever seen it. I'd say it should be an interesting matchup because Aurea can, in theory, stick like glue to 9 the Phantom, and if Aurea is able to get some good high value strikes in, maybe a couple of advantage chains as well, I could see her. Her overrunning 9 the Phantom, who's like, I consider 9 the Phantom to be a super strong character personally, but I think Aurea does have the tools to counter a character like 9 before she can really get going with all the recursion on the backside and all these shenanigans. Although we have seen Zane's 9 before, and it wasn't the traditional kind of 9. So let's see what happens here. It is Chimera's turn again. One thing that she did point out, as we're gonna actually flip the camera back to the standard position, but one thing that Chimera pointed out with this board, which I don't like. Thanks to Ice Pop for the board, by the way. This isn't like an S tier board. This board is sick. Very simple. Really good like demarcation of the gauge area and the deck discard, as well as the spots on the board. Good size play area. This is an S tier board for sure. I know we were talking about making those boards earlier. Looks like Chimera maybe thinking of initiating strike here. But of course, with the Androdite of Accord, that means like a fast attack. It's like a Grasp, for example, from Zain would push 2, and then 9 would retreat 2 back to range 5. Cross, meaning that 9 would advance 2 and then retreat here back to range 5 again. So those fast attacks are really what Ori is scared of here. But yeah, one thing that was pointed out to me by Chimera earlier is that Chimera's on red, but yet she's on the blue side of the board, and Zain is on blue, and he's on the red side of the board. So D, if you're listening, come on, man. What's going on here? Just make it upside down, yeah? Or keep it like this on purpose and annoy everyone who's listening to this and actually cares about stuff like this. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be here for a while. Chimera's a little bit of a slow player. Slow, deliberate player, I should say. Looks like a tactical mode getting boosted, so +1 speed now, advance to retreat 1. So now this range actually kind of matters. It kind of... So based on just speed curve theory, this kind of like matches the +1 range with the +1 speed. Although now it's back to Zain. It's like Grasp is kind of uncontestable here from 9 at range 2. Looks like it's going to be paired with a reading. We know Zain loves to go for these readings. I believe last time we saw Zain in a match against D, he read every single time. Looks like we're going to be reading Dive here. Probably getting rid of the reading threat from Aurea as well. Dive is not in the hand. Doesn't really... So we know that this is not a slow from 9, because Dive would obviously dive over. We anticipate this to be some sort of fast option. But, I mean, of course, this fast option is also pretty likely to hit, given the hand. We do have an EX Divine Thrust. Divine Thrust is another one of those closing options. Actually, we didn't really get to see the hand all too well. We saw like an EX Divine Thrust, but I didn't really see what else was on the board there. And of course, 9, a character that can recur those readings as well, with her backside UA of returning, of sealing a card from discard, and then of course 9's passive is that the sealed card gets returned to hand, the one that's overwritten basically. But yeah, this is probably just like a Grasp or something from 9. I wonder. I don't feel like. I don't know if Chimera's gonna invest an EX Divine Thrust into this, because EX Divine Thrust probably wins combats, but then your EX Divine Thrust probably wins, right? So it's a 1-2. Where is it? 1-2, 3-6. Of course, EX would be 1-2, 4-7. With the +1 speed, this would be 8 speed. This would outspeed anything that 9 throws. Especially because we're anticipating 9 to play a fast here after reading a dive. So the EX Divine Thrust is gonna win combats. It's just do we think Chimera's gonna invest into it? And I think she should. because this is gonna create some huge distance between 9 and REA. Divine Thrust is like a decent combat card as well into zoners, just because it's a fast after advance 4, so it beats the slower fireballs. And yeah, here comes the EX Divine Thrust, which will beat out the Speed 7 Lapis Lazuli of Levitation. So actually, it's shocking that Zain played this instead of like a normal, because this costs a force, and like on top of that, you're losing the Lapis, right? Because it's no longer in your deck. So 9 only starts with one copy of. Excuse me, 9 only starts with one copy of her specials in her deck, and then has the second one out here in the sealed area. But really shocked that he went for the Lapis Lazuli of Levitation. Doesn't move very far, only does 2 damage, very low impact. Very high cost as well, right? So that was a 3-card combat there from Zain. And like doesn't even, like only moves 3. So I'm actually really shocked that he went for that instead of just like a simple prepare action, or, you know, maybe get a second boost going. But yeah, of course, Chimera responds successfully with the Divine Thrust, advances to the corner. Not great positioning, honestly, but not terrible either. Just because Aurier has so many different ways to advance or retreat. We know the hand of Aurier in theory. We should have done a better job looking at it to see what was in it, but you know how it is. I hope I have enough content to cover however long this match is going to be, because I feel like this is going to be a long one. Chimera thinking of striking here. Perhaps. Zain with only 2 cards in hand. The only question is, do we think Zain would have struck with a cross instead of this Lapis? I'm going to claim no. I don't think he would have struck with the Lapis if he had known cross in hand, especially because he invested a reading into it. But maybe he just invested the reading to get rid of Chimera's potential reading and also get some hand info if the reading whiffed, perhaps? No idea. Looks like Chimera thinking of boosting a card here. Yep, Chimera boosting wide. So plus 0 to 1 range, now advance to retreat 1. Zain opting to prepare, back to Chimera here. So wide's an interesting one, because I feel like Sealing Hopalon is such a good card on Backside Aurier. Of course, this is me, so I will be singing the praises of Backside Aurier from now until the end of time. Backside Aurier, I think, is the best way to play Aurier. No one believes me when I tell people to Veil off turn 1 Aurier, but I do firmly believe that Veil off turn 1 Aurier is the strat. No one believes me, but that's okay. But like seeing Chimera invest a wide into this combat, you're not getting any value of the plus out of the plus 0 to 1 range, right? Like unless you're gonna play sweep and you catch a cross from 9. That's basically the only way you can get value out of a wide from range 1 as Aurier, right? Plus Sealing Hopalon is such a good card when paired with Aurier UA. Looks like we're using frontside Aurier action, so we have her specials and ultras have plus 2 armor. So this basically means that if Aurier chooses to play a special or ultra here, her specials and ultras are relatively low damage outside of the reverse DP. They all do, I believe, 2 or 3 damage. So yeah, the frontside Aurier is all about creating these kind of like low delta strikes, I guess. Because you have low power and good armor, so basically like you're going low damage for low damage. Whereas backside Aurier is all about the damage, right? Because you discard those sweeps, those dives, those spikes from your gauge, those luminous embraces that you get as well from the boost. We'll take a look at this boost, which is now hit. Your total power becomes 5. Add this to your gauge, so that's a really good way to get a card, get a high value card into gauge as well for backside Aurier. Oh, Zain calls out the slow with the range 1 dive. nicely done here from Zain. Um, I guess sweep. So sweep's one of those cards where it's like, well, if you're trying to call out like a second ceiling hop on or a sacred arrow, then dive's gonna beat that as well. And looks like we're gonna see the 9 UA come out. So we'll take a look at this. So if there's no sealed copy of your attack, you can do the triangle basically. So the triangle is, of course, a card from hand goes to gauge. The card from here goes to the sealed area, and then the card from the sealed area gets picked up. Due to, of course, 9's passive. Looks like we see 9 prepping again. 9, of course, finds herself in the corner after the range 1 dive. Tosses a Navy pressure into the gauge, which makes sense given the fact that we were talking about Aurier and her strengths, and this kind of slow fireball shape is not going to work against Aurier, right? Looks like we're going to see Chimera initiate another strike with the additional armor. So this sweep is really sad because now we don't have that sweep for backside. We do have a second sweep coming out from Aurier, though. So this will be an even 4-for-4 trade. Chimera will discard a card from Zane's hand, and then Zane will draw one. Notably, this is the first reading that we've seen not played for reading. Which of course makes sense given 9's relative frailty at range 1, given the fact that there is no auto dodge in play. 1 focus already down. So yeah, this makes sense. Is Zane gonna do the 9 shuffle again here? Notably, this ability looks like it doesn't. Looks like it costs a card, but it totally doesn't because you're just shuffling cards in a triangle. So yeah, that focus will now be sealed, and that Navy pressure will be picked up. 9 has built 2 gauge so far. 2 of the 4 gauge required, of course, for her insane exceed ability. And yes, so now we have no Navy pressure and no Coral of Catastrophe in the hand of 9. I believe it is now 9's turn again because Aurier initiated that strike. Does have a 6er in the gauge now. But we're going to see this Navy pressure get boosted. Of course, Heliodor of Humility also seals a card, so that Grass will get sealed, and here comes that all-important Lapis Lazuli of Lamentation. This, of course, is one of the best range dodges in the game. Just so versatile. 7 speed. Advances or retreats, depending on how you want to do it. We have 3 normals sealed so far, but more will be coming shortly. Just a wild card. This card here. Of course, it only does 2 damage when you actually try to hit with it, but who cares about that? Just the unprecedented movement on it. Anyways, back to Chimera here. Probably pass a reload. I feel like all these cards are known, right? Because I feel like Chimera has not done anything besides strikes since the reveal. Maybe I'm wrong on that. We'll see if a bit of a lull in the action. So Chimera considering exceeding. She does have a 6er in the gauge. She doesn't really have a I'd like to see her maybe boost Luminous Embrace. Of course, I'm a big proponent of just flipping right away as Aurier, just because I don't really. So the thing is, I don't really initiate strikes with the action so much because I feel like Aurier's cards. I mean, they're low impact on defense, but they're so good. They're so like defensively minded cards that I actually don't really initiate strikes too often with the front side UA. I just go straight for the backside, and I defend with my super good cards instead. If I feel like it's necessary. So I mean, I'm all for exceeding as Aurier personally, but of course a lot of people are less liberal with that than I am. They wouldn't do that, but of course we do have the 6er, and because of that sweep in the discard for Aurier, maybe we would like to see her prep. Wow, Aurier striking again. This is super aggressive gameplay from Aurier. What What is going on? Okay, so Succession will go. What? Why? Why are we throwing games like this? What? I don't even know what this trying. What is this trying to catch? This is trying to catch the. Is this trying to catch the 127? Okay, I feel like I keep seeing Aurier go for this like range one soul read play, and it's just like, why, bro? Just prep, man. Just prep. So anyway, the Succession will go first and miss. Yeah, sorry, we're just fixing a game state here. So of course, Amethyst of Annihilation ignores guard, not armor. So Chimera should have only taken 3 from that strike instead of 5. Anyway, 9 going for random spike beats the wild swing spike from Aurier, and now things have gone from bad to worse. Zain now has built up the 4 gauge required to exceed and gets that recursion, which is just so good in exceed. Chimera a little bit unlucky to wild swing the spike there, but I mean, a lot of her cards don't even work at range 3. The only ones that do work would be, of course, like Succession or the Stealing Hoplon. So yeah, I mean, just need like an assault or a dive there, but not going her way there, that combat. But man, don't go for these soul read successions, man. Unless you're like so far down that you need to take such a risk like this, like, oh man, I don't like it at all. And of course, that succession on top of that goes first. So of course the Amethyst pushes after just to add insult to injury. Looks like we're gonna see Chimera with the opt for prepare action. Zain with the same back to Chimera here. Zain ordering his hand like he is an EX of some sort. I mean, if it's an EX assault, then it's over. As we see a respect, Chimera choosing to advance 1 to range 2. Let's see if Zain strikes into this. It doesn't really have the setup yet, so range 2 is kind of 9's almost blind spot. Because the Emerald of Enmity doesn't quite hit 3. Only hits at 3, doesn't hit at 2. And of course, 9's cards are a bunch of ranged cards, so it has just as much of normals, which work at 2. So it looks like, yep, Zain going to be boosting that defend instead. So Chimera will get her 2 cards off the respect. Of course, defend, just like whatever. I mean, makes cards able to trade better. That card like Assault looks really good here now from 9. I don't know, so maybe a special. I feel like there's still a 2 to 3/4 coral in Zane's hand as well. I believe Zane still has a coral in his hand, which is known. That becomes slightly better, I guess, although it's super under curve. Back to Aurier here, who hasn't been able to get a lot done since that EX Divine Thrust to call out the reading play. Looks like we're going to see the 5th Executor come out here from Chimera. So this is the boost that we were talking about, makes Backside Aurier that much stronger, because this hit effect adds this card, which is normally a little bit niche to gauge. Okay, Chimera hits the cross, beating the dive. And of course, the 5th Executor means that the dive actually gets stunned out, which is kind of sad, really, because I think Chimera would have preferred 9 to be at range 2 over range 5. But that cross hits for 5, 4 after armor. Chimera now finds herself at range 5. Range 5 option, so of course, Luminous Embrace. The second copy is like an anti-zoner threat here. That is now live. However, a card like Morganite of Malice, 3 to 5, 4 5, directly counters that. So let's see if this is just the Morganite of Malice being thrown out here from Zain. Of course, Zain can mix it up and just play. I don't know. He can actually go for like one of these slower type fireballs. Like he can go for the Kunzite here. He could go for the Flame Punisher. I don't foresee it happening, but he could, in theory, go for one of those plays if he's feeling a little bit crazy. Or doesn't believe that Chimera even has the second Luminous Embrace. 4 cards in hand, 13 cards in deck for Aurier. So a little bit of mix-up here for Chimera to deal with. After crossing out to range 5 against 9. Of course, if Chimera thinks it's Morganite, Morganite has a pull 5 on it. So just play slow. Just play your sweep. Oh, second Luminous Embrace calls out the Flame Punisher. So Luminous Embrace will be faster, will hit for 7, and this Flame Punisher will then, of course, miss because of Luminous Embrace's close 5. Wow. I'm shocked that Zain went for the mix-up there so soon. And such a costly one, too, at the Flame Punisher, which costs 2 gauge. Aurier will zip in to range 1. Gain advantage, which doesn't really matter because Zain initiated that strike. Now it's 2 7s in the gauge for backside Aurier to finish the game off. It's like a Veil Off here from Aurier would be just perfect. Just such a good, reliable way to close the game. Especially with both dives down now, a card like Rest in Peace is looking really good here. Especially with only 3 normals in the sealed area for Zain, so that auto dodge doesn't really go as far as you'd like it to. Wow, I can't believe Zain actually went for the Flame Punisher against the Luminous Embrace. Just believed that Chimera didn't have it, but went for it anyway. Or Initiating Strike. It's gonna be the Lapis, known Lapis. So this is dodge the focus. I believe it does not. Oh no, it does, because of course you can seal a card from your discard pile. So of course 9 will seal that cross from the discard, and then that will enable her to dodge the focus. Of course, Aurier will draw a card off that. Take no damage. Would have preferred to see the Veil Off there just to finish the game off. With more reliability, having those 2 7s. Would have preferred to see the Veil Off over the focus there. But no, Chimera says no. Don't think Veil Off's the play here. I'm just gonna strike with focus instead. Aurier now, of course, being threatened by that 3 to 4 2 6 at range 3. Why don't you zoom in on that card? Yeah, I feel like I have not been doing the best job of zooming in on cards this game, so I'll try to do that more. I haven't really been controlling the view for the past couple games, so it's been a little bit not what I'm used to. So, but I'll try to do a better job of that as the set progresses. I personally do want to see Chimera build some more resources here. If she's not building resources, then she's got to be boosting one of these cards to move to range 2. To under range the emeralds. Is it emeralds? Yes, the Emerald of Enmity. Striking is one way to deal with it. This is the succession. Okay. Calls out the Emerald with the succession. Actually, nicely done there. Zain just kind of mashing this, I guess. Of course, so this has a push 1, then retreat 1, which will be at range 5. Where of course, this succession will hit back. And then on top of that, Ori gets to pull 3 and gain advantage as well. It's actually really well called out there. Zain maybe going a little bit autopilot there with the Emerald. But no, the 2 armor on that is perfect. Of course that's stun immunity, but Ori not taking any damage, pulling 9 back to range 2, which we said before was a little bit of a soft spot there. Only 2 cards in hand for both these players. Ori initiating another strike here, Zain immediately going for the Wild Swing. That Grasp is not going to win, it's just going to be the Assault. Chimera doing pretty well here. Assault, of course, a little bit under curve, but we know both crosses are down from 9's side. So actually really good there. And now Ori finds herself at range 1, has advantage as well, so can rebuild. Expect to see maybe we don't need to kill with backside Ori anymore, so maybe a change cards 5 is in order. Toss both the Luminous Embraces and one of the specials, or one of the other 2 cards. Change cards 5, just draw 6, would be pretty good reload here from Ori. Zain can't even go for a Hail Mary reading anymore. Okay, Ori opts to Veil Off here. I don't know. Don't really understand the Veil Off this late, as looks like 9 going to be doing her own Exceed. We'll take a look at this. So of course, look at that Overdrive. So that Overdrive is when you may steal a card from your discard pile. So you can drop a card from here to here, and then steal any card from here to bring any card from here back. It's very, very powerful. Yeah, I'm surprised to see Ori go for the for the Exceed side instead of just opting to change cards there. I feel like change cards is way better. You don't need backside Ori anymore to win. Your opponent's at 4 HP. As we're going to see a strike initiated by Ori. And with a card from hand as well. Zain with the Wild Swing, so this could be over. This is a 7 power something. Yep, it is the 7 power Ceiling Hop On. Such a good move here. Assault would go first, hit for 4, and the Ceiling Hop On will hit back for 7. Zain did not draw a block. Or did he have a block in hand? Oh no, he parried turn 1, so only that 1 block, but was caught in the deck. And yeah, that hand is not gonna that hand is not gonna perform too well either. Chimera takes game 1 with the Ori over the 9 the Phantom. Well done. Outside of that really weird succession play, this was actually really solidly played from Ori. Of course, per the tournament rules, Zain is forced to stay on the 9, whereas Chimera is now able to counterpick Zain's 9 with one of her 2 remaining characters. Her 2 remaining characters, of course, being Enkidu and Lychee. I bet Enkidu has a pretty solid matchup into 9 as well, as just intrinsic closing. Thunderstomp directly counters the auto dodge as well, or the range dodge as well. I wonder if... Yeah, wonder if that's the matchup that Chimera will go for here. But yeah, per the tournament rules, Zayn is forced to stay on the 9. Apologies, we are going to be taking more breaks in talking today. I just feel a little bit tired. It is, it's not really getting late, but, you know, to wake up early and all that. And if we are in for a best of 5 set, then we definitely cannot be over talking. So I hope you appreciate the more chill vibes from today. Don't worry, we'll get back to more frantic talking in the future. I think the next set I'm gonna do, I'm actually gonna be doing a post-com between Moriarty and Shelby. That was recorded by Mix, I don't know, a couple days ago, and looks like Chimera will be bringing out that Enkidu. But yeah, with the post-coms, I can definitely go more ham, just because I do those are like... Sorry, I completely lost my train of thought. Okay, so for some reason there's another like a coin toss. I don't remember the rules. I'm assuming it's part of the rules. And Chimera, who won the last game, now gets to go first. So now gets to pick her character and the order. I don't know, man. Whatever. So we'll take a look at Enkidu here. Enkidu, of course, very focused on the 3 Precept Strikes. He has 6 copies of this card in his deck. We'll take a look at 3 Precept Strike here. So it starts off as kind of a trash-looking card, 1 to 3, 4, 3, 5. But once you get those 3 Precepts into Gauge, man, this suddenly becomes a powerhouse card. Like a 1 to 3, 6, 5 becomes very, very scary. This character has other ways to... I mean, can get 3 Precept Strikes in through Calamity Crest. Can return 3 precepts from discard to hand using the UA. Can drop 3 precepts from hand just by using the force action, or, you know, Maelstrom, that kind of thing. I personally am a big fan of turn 1 Maelstrom. I actually told Chimera this as well. But no, Chimera just boosting the turn 1 respect, moving to range 2. Let's see if 9 will strike here. I mean, if 9 has a cross, I think she strikes here maybe 100% of the time. Nope, just the teleport step. Of course, just another really, really cool tool that 9 has. We'll put cool in quotation marks. Advanced Retreat 2, taking another action. So now we're back at range 4, where of course Enkidu doesn't really have anything going for him at range 4. Very much a melee-focused character. I mean, he has this, but this costs way too many resources. That's the only ranged option outside the dive, so... We're gonna see a parry coming out here from Zain. That's interesting. So we'll parry the Ultra. We'll parry Demon Steel Abyssal Force. Gets it as well. Maybe thinking that this is a threat for later. Obviously both the boosts and the actual attack. So these are both kind of late game minded. Of course, you need a bunch of 3 precepts. You need a bunch of 3 precepts for this Demon Steel to not cost a billion resources. And of course, the Unstoppable Force requires several gauge as well for it to get full value. So Zain opting for an early parry for a late game threat, interestingly enough. But when that happens, of course, the respect goes off. Enkidu draws 2 cards. Enkidu just also has like another way to advance. Like he has tactical, he has reckless run, and of course he can just spend a 3 precept as force and then get it back later from the frontside UA. But of course, Enkidu, there's no way Enkidu can just hang out at range 4. Not legal. We're gonna have to move in. Of course, Season 6 also has 2 normal boosts that move in the form of Air Dash and Respect. So there you go. And we're going to see the Tidal Spin boosted as Tactical. +1 speed, now Advanced Archery 1. Can now, in theory, contest the Emerald of Enmity with EX3 Precept. And actually, we're going to see Emerald of Enmity boosted as Seamoss Gaze. Seal a card from a discard pile, take another action. We will seal, looks like, the Spike to get back a Kunzite. Zain should really shuffle his hand, because we know the Kunzite's here. We're going to see the Flax Nurture come out here from Zain as well. So this is basically, instead of preparing, so you'll get 1 less card net since you spend a card, and then you draw 3 and then shuffle 2 back in. Will you get 1 less card net? Yeah, you will, because you draw 3 and then you spend 3 and then you draw 1 for end of turn. But of course you get better deck cycling out of it. Flax Nurture, interesting. Interestingly enough, Zane's clearly looking for something. Don't know what, though. Don't know what he's looking for. Maybe he's looking for light to contest. Maybe he's looking for a defensive option to contest the impending 3 Precept strike that's coming out. Don't know exactly what he's looking for, but he's looking for something. Chimera gearing up for an EX here. So this is basically, is this EX3 Precept, or is this like EX mix-up? If it is the EX3 Precept, which will go first, hit for 4. Of course, Amethyst of Annihilation has 4 guard, so we'll be able to defend against this. And on hit, we'll push 2. So yeah, I think they're fixing this now. Enkidu should find himself at range 4 after this Amethyst goes off. Did Chimera reveal a 3 Precept in hand? Weird. So yeah, Amethyst of Annihilation gains advantage. Chimera should also take 4 damage from that. Yep. 4 damage, of course, be due to the EX armor on 3 Precept. Zain opting for a prepare action here. I mean, Enkidu's going to have to move in. Can just UA move in, to be fair. With the action, return a copy of 3 Precept strike from discard to your hand if you do close 1. Moving to range 3 seems totally okay here. Yep. And we're going to see Chimera opt for that. So yeah, I feel like Enkidu can maybe perform okay against 9 as well, for these reasons. Just another melee-oriented character with a lot of ways to close the distance. Okay, Zain setting an EX attack spicy. Since Kenobi cannot be, like, this could be EX, cannot be any of the specials. For the most part, actually can't be any of the specials. Could be EX Kunzite, I guess, but I don't think it's EX Kunzite. So I guess we're playing Assault Dive Spike mix-up. Can't be Spike, so it's either EX Assault, EX Dive. So let's see how Chimera responds to the EX Assault, EX Dive mix-up here that 9 is threatening. That's an interesting one. Both will move 9 to melee range. Of course, Dive will have the benefit of crossing over, and Assault will have the benefit of gaining advantage. Could also be EX Sweep. That's one option that I've neglected to remember. Not as potent at range 3 as range 1, but important to represent in the mix-up sometimes, some percentage of the time. Notably, you also have to represent EX Sweep in this mix-up, otherwise you just get rolled by Gale Edge. Not rolled, but Gale Edge will dodge everything. We'll dodge both EX Assault and EX Dive. We'll take a look at Gale Edge here. It's one of the reverse DP shapes, as I like to call them in Season 6. Attacks with speed X or greater do not hit you. In Enkidu's case, this is speed 5. So will not hit against the Assault or the Dive, but will dodge both of them. Okay, Chimera responding with a single card. Let's see if it is the Gale Edge. Oh, no, it's the Thunder Stomp. Thunder Stomp, another option that will beat out, that will, like, beat out, or not beat out, but will prevent the Assault or Dive from hitting. Unfortunately, at range 3, this does mean that Enkidu cannot hit back. But Chimera, I guess, is happy with that. Stays at range 3. Keeps 9 that corner as well, so just in case this will dive, 9 wouldn't be able to dive out. Yeah, another reason why you need to represent Sweep in this mix-up. Looks like we're going to be seeing another EX from Chimera here. Could this be another 3 precepts, perhaps? Since 3 precept would do 5 damage, so if Zain has a Sweeper focus, he's going to be okay here. And yep, it is the focus against the EX3 precept. So this EX3 precept doing 5 damage, 3 after armor. And then Chimera will get hit back for 3 damage. Zain will draw a card. So yeah, obviously we take a look at the first 3 precepts. They're not scary yet, but they're going to start getting scary soon. With 2 in the gauge. 3 is really where they really get scary. Looks like we're going to see a run boost come out from Zain, moving to range 2 across the way. Moving out of the corner as well. I expect Enkidu to just Enkidu prep here. Moving to range 1 isn't terrible. Range 2 is probably still better than range 1. However, the thing is, we have seen both. Have we seen both crosses used? No, we haven't. I think we've seen 1 cross used, but things we've seen both backsteps used because of the EX Assault earlier from Zain. So you can't just backstep all the way back. Teleport step also down, so you can't teleport step, take another action from Enkidu. So range 2 is probably okay. If Enkidu just wants to regular prepare over Enkidu prep, of course, the problem with some of these Season 6 characters that have uneven deck sizes is Enkidu has a massive deck. He's got a big boy deck. He's got 34 cards in that deck. That means he's not cycling. He's cycling so slowly compared to some of these other characters, especially compared to 9. He only has 25 cards. I know Chimera opting for the Enkidu prep will close to range 1 and pick up the 3 precept, and we'll draw a card for end of her turn. But yeah, that's the problem with some of these characters with the non-standard deck sizes. Looks like Zane's just opting for prepare back. Yep. It's just that you can't get to the options that you need to get to with such a thick deck without any sort of deck cycling. So now Enkidu does have deck cycling in the form of the Maelstrom boost, which is discard your hand, then draw 4. If you discard 3 or more cards this way, take another action. So he does have some sort of deck cycling. But it also, it's something you have to watch out for with these non-standard deck size characters, especially the ones with larger decks, is that maybe you're not able to get to your options as quickly as possible. That could be a bad thing. Of course, Enkidu's deck full of 3 precept strikes. We have seen 4 of those already. 2 in discard, 2 in gauge, 1 in hand, 1 in discard for Chimera. Thus far, only 11 cards into the deck as well. It's funny. Just Enkidu things. Anyways, I believe it is Chimera's turn, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I believe Zain prepped, and yeah, that's it. Can you hear that in the background? By the way, I do have the random reruns of The Office running on the TV behind me. I hope you can't hear that. I hope that doesn't come through the video, because that would be unprofessional, embarrassing, and uncalled for conduct. I really hope you can't hear that. I'm just gonna mute that preemptively, just because we can't be watching the Office here when we have such riveting gameplay going on here between Chimera and Zain. And I know that sounded sarcastic, and I apologize because it did sound sarcastic. I did not mean for it to sound sarcastic, but it did come out very sarcastic. Can't miss this. Can't miss all the hot action. Oh, I think that also sounded sarcastic as well. Sorry. So I dropped my phone. Chimera, considering boosting, will boost immovable object, +1 armor, +1 guard. You cannot be pushed or pulled after you may spend 1 gauge to sustain this. So okay. So I guess Grasp becomes a really bad option from 9, obviously, just because of the passive, you cannot be pushed or pulled. But I'm kind of questioning, the reason I'm questioning this now at this juncture is that it's basically just +1 armor, +1 guard, because surely you're not spending a 3 precept from Gauge to sustain this, because there are better ways to use 3 precepts from Gauge when you're Enkidu to sustain this. Looks like we're going to see the Coral of Catastrophe boosted again. So Zain actually really, really liking this this hit effect on 9, and of course, why wouldn't you? Just try to get some distance. Back to Chimera, who looks like she's actually going to strike here. Of course, we already discussed the benefits of fast versus slow here on 9 with regards to this hit effect. Although, of course, Grasp is now significantly less valuable with the movable object in play from Enkidu. Oh, Chimera actually took back the, or not took back the strike, but unflipped her card and then shuffled her hand. Huh. Just want to make sure that this is recording, and it looks like it is. This looks like Chimera going to be initiating a strike here at range 1 against 9. Only 1 guard, interestingly enough. Let's see if Chimera goes fast or slow. Chimera goes... initiates a spike at range 1, going for the soul read on what? What does spike beat? Spike beats fasts. Spike does... What does spike beat? Spike beats like fasts that don't move out of range 1, I guess? So that would be like assault. Spike beats assault due to that hit effect. Spike loses to everything else. Not a fan of these soul reads, I will say. I'm a little bit confused as to what else Spike beats besides assault there at range 1. Cause okay, so Zain has to go first in that scenario for Spike to hit back. Spike hits Grasp in assault, but I don't think Zane's playing assault there. Chimera, of course, also choosing not to sustain the +1 armor, +1 guard boost. That just goes to waste as well. A little bit. I don't know about that one. Anyway, Zain initiating a strike at range 5. Options that this could be Kunzite, which is an ignore armor card. This could be Navy Pressure, 4 to 7, super slow fireball. This could be Morganite of Malice, which is the fast option, 3 to 5, 4 to 5, hit, pull 5, which Enkidu can respond with a slow. This can also, of course, be the Ultra Flame Punisher, 2 to 5, 7-0, with stun immunity, push 2 after draw 2, the super, super high payout move here, which we actually saw 9 go for last time. Moreover, we're at range 5, so you can't really dive in to undercut the Flame Punisher as well. So I actually wouldn't be surprised if this was the Flame Punisher from Zain, especially now that we've seen him play in like a way riskier scenario. Wouldn't be surprised if this was the Flame Punisher. You can't really cross out here as Enkidu, because then you're just getting popped by the known Kunzite. Oh, known, Kunzite's known. Does that change your evaluation? I feel like maybe it does. Of course, you're Enkidu, so you can't really hit at range 5 anyway. So you just kind of have to eat this, but that actually makes the chances of this being Kunzite way larger, in my opinion, just because the Kunzite is known. But no, it is the Flame Punisher. Chimera opting to play Focus. Okay, so we'll play Focus to mitigate some damage, and we'll draw a card and will not get pushed. Okay. Focus, of course, will miss. Flame Punisher will do 5 damage to Enkidu. But doesn't get pushed out to range 7, which is great, because the Kunzite follow-up would have been absolutely nasty. That's why you need to keep a good amount of resources in your hand. Don't know what happened there. But that's why you need to keep a good amount of resources in your hand against these zoners, because otherwise you'll just get zoned out, and that's the end, right? Luckily, Enkidu does have some gauge and some cards. Like we alluded to earlier, Season 6 does have 2 normal boosts that allow them to advance in the form of Air Dash on Assault and Respect on Grasp. Enkidu, of course, also has the Reckless Run. Has the Enkidu Prep, which I don't think is enough. And if neither of those work, you can just spend Force to move in. But something's got to give. Enkidu cannot stand at range 5 here. See, that's another reason why I'm a little bit sad to see this spent, the immovable object, because that's 2 force you could have really needed. 2 force you could have really liked to have. Chimera just putting in the chat that she's thinking. Hopefully your thoughts involve movement in the forward direction. I also hope you can't hear my fan in the background. It's starting to get a little bit warm here. Kind of. I don't know. I mean, I prefer the cold weather anyway, so for me it's starting to get a little bit warm, so I have to turn the fan on. Especially because this room does get a little hot. Oh no, it's not. Surely it's not a strike. Surely it's not a strike. Nope, it's going to be the Reckless Run. Boost we alluded to before. Advance 2, and you can spend any amount of force to advance 2 for each force spent. Looks like, nope, just going to be boosting that chain kick to boost to move to range 3. Back to 9, who will boost that Navy Pressure to boost Heliodor of Humility, sealing that grasp and bringing back, of course, this powerhouse range dodge here. Lapis Lazuli of Lamentation. Normally only 2 sealed normals for now, but I'm sure that's going to change in the near future. back to Enkidu here, who's at his preferred range for what's worth. I actually wouldn't mind to see an Enkidu prep come out here from Chimera as well, just get that 3 preset back. Or a regular prep even. Although Chimera has shown that she does like to play on a hand size that's lower than 7 at basically all times. Very different from me, I will say. I love prepping. Once again, it is Chimera's turn. She's just taking her time to think. I don't foresee her initiating a strike here. Do foresee her. I would like to see her build up maybe a little bit more resources. Because if you initiate a strike here, you're down to 3 cards in hand against a larger 9 hand. 9 already has Defend out in play, so it's probably gonna trade this strike anyway. Or if 9 even goes for like a cheeky. No, not enough. I was about to say a cheeky coral would be looking pretty decent here, especially into an Enkidu that just matches 3 precepts, but with only 2 sealed normals. No, it's not enough. It's not high value enough. Okay, Chimera initiating strike here at range 3. Okay, range 3 mix up live, of course. Enkidu dive, of course, doesn't perform as well. Dive actually performs relatively well into the defend, so I wonder if it is the dive. Nope, it's going to be 3 precept into the Wild Swing focus. A little bit unfortunate there for Chimera. This is 3 precepts going to have 5 power. Enkidu will take, or 9 will take 2 damage. Down to 21. And of course, this focus will hit back for 4. 3 precepts in the discard now, in the gauge now for Enkidu. But unfortunately, he's finding himself at a huge life deficit, down 9 life compared to 9. But this is where those 3 precepts are starting to get value, or will start to get value, either through the use of 3 precept strike, through the use of chain kick, through the use of the ultra, or through the use of Enkidu's backside UA, as 9 boosts defend at range 2, plus 1 armor, plus 3 guard. These defense actually low-key doing work, helping Zain trade quite a bit. Enkidu initiating another strike here. This is really, really aggressive gameplay. I foresee this to be assault, personally, like an assault shape. But Chimera goes for these random spikes. And yeah, there's the random spike that we were mentioning earlier. So basically 9 is just going to move to range 1. We'll hop over to range 1, probably to the other side, if I had to guess. No, actually Zain actually staying on this side. But yeah, sorry, we were just calling out how Chimera likes to go for these random spikes sometimes. Zain just says, no, let me attempt to dodge this with the range dodge, and works out for him. Sticking on this side, why would he stick on this side if he's threatening Amethyst? But Amethyst is down, so what benefit does Zain have from staying on this side of the board? Because that is very peculiar. Sweep into grasp, just things go from bad to worse for Chimera here. Trades down, loses a card as well, down so many cards, loses superior. At the very least, Enkidu can choose positioning. Yep, shoves 9 back into the corner, but at such a huge life deficit. All these 3 precepts ran into guarded options. And then they were never... So like, Enkidu is okay with that in the early game, and he's able to convert them into big damage by the mid game. And unfortunately, Chimera has not been able to convert into big damage in the end game. Through the methods that we were talking about earlier. Just unfortunately, things not working out here for Enkidu. Nine just able to out brawl Enkidu. Funnily enough, never thought I'd hear myself saying those words, but yeah, Nine able to out brawl Enkidu here. Of course, that's just the power of normals. The power of normals. Chimera in a bit of a pickle. I believe it is her turn. I believe 9 initiated the range 1 sweep, if I'm not mistaken. So it's her turn. She's just out of resources and out of life. So this is looking pretty tricky. We have a little bit of a more of a lull in the action here. Like I said, I'm not gonna try to fill up the broadcast with words like I normally do. We're just gonna keep things a little bit mellow, a little bit chilled out tonight. Just me. Don't have mix here, so no conversations back and forth. Just pure raw Exceed gameplay, which is why you guys are here. I'm assuming. I feel like it's Chimera's turn, but I'm not 100% sure anymore. Chimera taking note of the options that are left. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 Kunzite Teleport Rock. I believe the Kunzite's known in hand, so. What's Teleport Rock? Is that Azerite? Chimera opting for change cards 3. Okay, so drops the second copy of Demon Seal, which could I don't think that was a win con. Nope, drops the Grass from Gage, and that to CC forward. Zain immediately responds with the Exceed side. So we're gonna be seeing Blast from the Past here as far as this discard pile is concerned. And just such a good Exceed mode. Back to Enkidu here. Does have a bit of gas now since 9 had spent a turn to Exceed. Okay, back to Chimera. Just thinking about boosting something. Boosting Maelstrom. Okay, interesting. Unhappy with the hand. Focus, Tidal Spin, Assault go to the discard. Chimera will now draw 4 cards and take another action. So yeah, this is the main form of deck cycling that Enkidu has that we were referring to earlier. Just unhappy with their hand, deciding, okay, need something better. Interestingly, chucks the Veil off, but maybe Chimera thinks that the Veil off is too slow here, perhaps? That's basically my thoughts on why she didn't do that. Because, I mean, the only problem is how is she going to get value out of these other 3 precepts, just striking with more 3 precepts? Unfortunately, that's... I mean, we saw 0, 1, 2 left in here, if Chimera's count was correct. Which is... doesn't bode well, because 1 and 2 will still trade relatively well to 3 precepts. 2 will not trade unless it's EX... will not trade into EX3 precept, however. Chimera gonna strike with an EX attack? Is this the EX3 precept? Is this like telegraphed EX3 precept? Because telegraphed EX3 precept probably loses a game. Could this be EX Gale Edge? Nope, it is EX3 precept. Just gets blocked by Zain at the very least. Yep, 7 power coming in. Notably, all the 3 precepts I believe are down. 4 engage and 3 in the 2 the discard. And he moves to range 1. That's going to be 7 power. Zain will opt to take 3, just stops that known Kunzite. Of course, recursion will be happening this turn due to 9's overdrive ability. So let's see what Zain decides to get back. Notably, can't get back the range dodge because Grasp has been sealed. So both range dodges are stuck in here. Of course, we can get it back with just like a double seal of some sort, like seal the thing, bring back Grasp, and then like use a seal ability to, like, I don't know, Sea Boss Gate, for example, to trade the Grasp out for the range dodge. Range dodge actually doesn't perform super well here either, with only 2 normals sealed. So maybe we'll see a different course of action here from Zain. Looks like Zain will bring back the Coral of Catastrophe, sealing a dive. I wonder if he'll just boost that right away, as we've seen him boost at range 1 quite often. Really should be shuffling his hand. I believe that Kunzite was like known exactly where it was in the hand. So just a reminder, I mean, if you're in tournament, and even if you're not in tournament, please shuffle your hand, right? Because especially if you're a character like 9 who kind of bleeds known information as far as cards go shuffling in and out of hand, just shuffle your hand, man. Although I do foresee Zain maybe boosting that card anyway. No, striking with another card. Is this the sweep? Is this Zain just saying, okay, I don't think you can beat sweep at range 1 here? You need like a cross. You need a 3 precept that doesn't exist. What else even beats sweep? Nothing else? Like an EX? I mean, Thunderstomp means that you live, you get stunned out, and then lose your last card, so it's not like you're really living large. But yeah, if Chimera's count is correct, and there's a sweep left in this deck, surely this is just sweep. Very, very difficult to deal with if you're Enkidu. You can cross out and then Enkidu prep. That's not a bad play. Of course, you can just block this as well. Unless this is the range 1, the noted range 1 Kunzite, which I don't think is possible, actually. Yep, it's the sweep. Unfortunately, the Spiral Dual Palm Strike will lose the sweep because of its after lose all armor, and Zain will take game 2 with his 9 over the Enkidu. Uh, yeah, if Chimera's count was 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, Kunzite Teleport Rock, this just beats this, I guess. I guess that's what she was. Oh, okay, so she was going for the read on this being Lapis, and this would actually hit the Lapis because of only 3, soon be 4 discards, normal sealed. So that actually would have hit the Lapis. Oh, Chimera had the block and went for that anyway. I mean, just thinking, probably, I mean, her thoughts are probably just, I'm down this much life, I need to take a risk. Unfortunately, I don't think that risk was the correct risk, although I guess her read was just off. She thought that was Lapis, but we thought it was Sweep. So yeah, this set is now tied 1-1. Chimera forced to stick on the Enkidu. Zain can now bring out either the Yuzuriha or the Noel against the Enkidu. Noel is actually a character I don't think I've ever casted before. Actually, no, I must have casted Migos Noel at some point. Surely I've casted Migos Noel. But it's been a long, long time since I've casted a Noel. And looks like we're going to be seeing the Yuzuriha come out from Zain. I think we actually casted Zain's Yuzuriha last week against D, I want to say. I think we saw his Yuzuriha lose to Carmine, but then beat Merkava on like a low percentage reading, if I'm not mistaken. You can check out that video. Probably shouldn't have spoiled that video for you, but you can check out that video on the channel. Again, I think it was last week's match, if I'm not mistaken. D, of course, has now moved on to the finals of this tournament, now being 3-0 against Chica. So that's going to be an interesting set for sure. I really hope I can catch that, just because I really want to see D go ham. He doesn't go ham against me when we play in casuals. Not that we play casuals super often, but he hasn't gone ham against me in the casuals. So I'm really excited to see D go all out in these tournament formats. Show us that the old man is still a force to be reckoned with. Yeah, Enkidu to Yuzuriha is going to be an interesting one. Both like brawly characters. Yuzuriha just brawly because of her card quality is just really good. Enkidu, of course, like built up to be a brawly character with 30 precepts. Yep, Zain calling the coin correctly, so now the person who has won the game has now gone first twice. What a strange time. Yuzuriha going first. Range 4 spike is a threat. We actually saw Zain go for a reading into a Saki, which was the most wild gameplay. I don't ever want to see that ever again. But other than that, Yuzuriha doesn't have any range 4 options. Of course, Enkidu doesn't really have range 4 options either. So expect to see maybe a single cheeky spike into close range battle. Or if you're like me, you can just make this go to range 8 and then rebuild resources and then move in. It's something I did last week against Migo. We were playing Tager Waldstein, and we moved to full board. And then Waldstein played Respect, and then I teched it, because that's how lame of a player I am. Nope, we're just going to see the +1 power, +1 speed after add this to your gauge, threatening, of course, the Tachi. Threatening Tachi dive mix-up, essentially. Interesting turn 1 here from Zain, actually. That's not a bad boost at all. Not a bad boost at all. Enkidu will surely have to move in to try to counter this as well. So this could just be a bait from Yuzuriha as well. Just baiting into, like, thinking... into baiting Chimera into thinking that she has to move in, and then really the threat that Yuzu is representing, like EX Spike or something, you know. Which could be pretty good. So let's see how Chimera responds to this threat here. Yeah, and we're gonna see the air dash coming out from Chimera, moving to range 1. Oh man. Zain says, "Okay, moving to range 1. Let me boost a second Ansel loss. Now has the wave the Yuzu, wave the what? Wave the RNG, perhaps. Really upping the stakes here. Plus, with the after at to gauge, it means that once this strike goes through, we're going to be seeing Yuzu have 2 6s in here for Kasho. Of course, Kasho just a really, really good attack in my opinion. Doesn't stun the opponent notably, but advances forward to get out of all the stuff that hurts. This is that's an answer I did not expect from Zain. Let's see how Enkidu deals with this. Back to Chimera. Chimera will choose to tech hit one of the Ansel Losts, and now will strike, so Yuzu only has the +1/+1 over the Enkidu. I expect Enkidu to be striking with a slow here. Tech hit, of course, means that focus becomes a safer option here, with 7 defenses able to withstand this sweep from Yuzu. Of course, focus loses really hard to Kiri. A 1-3, 8-2, 1-5. is a pretty monstrous stat line that would pop any defensive option that Enkidu throws out here with only one card. So yeah, let's see if Enkidu goes fast or slow here. That's kind of the mix-up, because Enkidu can, in theory, just like attempt to cross out to beat the super high power Kiri. Okay, this is not what I have expected at all. Enkidu has initiated with a sweep, and Zain has initiated with a block. Zain pulls, or Chimera pulls the Tachi out. I did not expect this block. Was this a bluff? Like, I guess it wasn't. I guess Zain just thought that Enkidu would be going fast. Like, thought that I was playing cross to dodge a slow as well. Anyway, I mean, works out really well for Chimera. Zain now has like a block stuck in the gauge, which is not good because with a card like Unsheath, Unsheath block is really bad. Or backside Yuzu is basically with the RNG strikes. Although I don't remember if Zane's a backside Yuzu player or not. But having the block caught in gauge is not a good thing. And with Zain opting to prepare back to Chimera here. Okay, Chimera spends one force in the form of Sweep to move back to range 2. Yuzu in turn boosting Superior. So this is actually one of the new normals that we haven't seen yet this cast. Replacing Run, we have your attack is considered to be EX attack. Really solid boost. The one downside to it, though, is that you can't double EX. So this surprise EX is that you get caught by every so often. Really powerful tech, getting caught by defensive surprise EX. But this kind of eliminates that threat, right? So that's the one downside to this boost. That's why I don't like it as much as some other people do, just because I am a defensive player who likes to go for those defensive surprise EXs a lot. But, I mean, regardless, still just like a really good boost, right? Even with that quote-unquote downside, it's just still really solid. Back to Enkidu here. Of course, Yuzu now representing an above curve option here. Besides the cross with this with the Casho. The Casho beats speed 7, hit force 7 power here. Not a bad strike at all. On top of that, Yuzu has like an additional assault shape here in with the Yaichirin, or with the etc. We'll just call it, I think I called this card etc. in the last cast. I don't remember. We'll just call it etc. Can always mix it up with Spike as well, because I mean, Spike is Spike. You always have to represent it some percentage of the time. Okay, Enkidu initiating a strike into the superior, interestingly enough. Let's see if Enkidu goes on curve here or opts for another slow. I think those are basically the two options I foresee happening. There's a world where Enkidu initiates 3 Precept to beat Spike Likes, but I don't think that's happening. Nope, it's going to be the Focus, and it's going to be the Casho. And yeah, like we said, the Casho will dodge everything. Casho wouldn't actually have dodge sweep. So this is going to be 7 power Casho. Chimera will take 5. Focus will miss, however. Needs the sweep to catch the Casho on the backside. Focus will at least draw a card, and Enkidu is at range 3, so, I mean, range 3 is where the magic starts to happen for Enkidu, so... Okay, Enkidu initiated an EX here. If we are judging by Chimera's previous EXs, this is going to be EX3 Precept. The power of Enkidu, though, is really mixing up these strikes with Dive or Spike. Nope, it is going to be the EX3 Precept. We'll get caught by the Tachi. Simple 4 for 5 trade here. Not so simple. Yuzu trades up, technically. Yep. I mean... No one is shocked at what just happened here. Yuzu boosting second copy of Superior here. Threatening that second Casho, obviously. At speed 6. Notably, that's the only above curve option that Yuzu has left. Is that second copy of Casho. Can go on curve with Assault or etc. Wherever etc. is, etc. Back to Chimera, who struck with a slow last time Superior was boosted. Let's see what she opts for this time around. Okay, Enkidu opting for the Enkidu Prep will close 1. Return a 3 Precept from discard to hand, and we'll draw a card for end of turn. Back to Yuzu. Sorry, I'm trying to... Even though I've zoomed in on these cards before, I'm trying to get back into the habit of zooming in on these cards. I feel like I've been a little bit lazy, just because I haven't been actually doing commentary on live sets very often. So I want to get back into that habit for sure. Of course, the habit being... talking about a card and then immediately zooming in on it so you guys can read it. Apologies, because I've been a little bit lazy with respect to that. Zain checking discards when you think of a reading. And here comes the reading. We know Zain loves reading. Now, normally Enkidu not really the strongest character for reading, again, or to be read, just because Enkidu has a larger deck size. Zain reads Dive again, so this says Yuzu's going fast. Does Enkidu have a good answer to fast? Enkidu has focus. This could just be second Kasho, though. Or this could also be etc., which dodges... etc. would also dodge focus, so focus is not the best option. It's the hand... I mean, you can't play... Can you play an option that is less than 5 power? Or 5... that's less than 6 guard here? Because if you... or 6 defenses? 'Cause maybe you can. Just because, like, what's really being represented here? Could it be a cheeky over here? That's being... no, it can't be over here. You can't throw it over here with Kasho engage. So this is almost assuredly just like a normal, or like a fast normal, or etc., right? So maybe those slow cards are okay. Like, responding with a singular Thunderstomp is okay here. Interesting thought there. Right, because there's no way this is sweeper focus, right? Which are the only things that Thunderstomp like really hard lose to. I mean, not focus, but sweep especially. So I think striking with Thunderstomp in response is probably actually okay, not bad here. Chimera might just go for the focus though. It is the etc. and it is the Thunderstomp. Okay. So yeah, the etc. will hit for 5 minus 1 will hit for 4 armor. Yuzu unable to advance due to the passive on Thunderstomp, and Thunderstomp will hit back for 3 after armor. It is now Zain's turn again. Zain will now boost Unsheath. Strike with a random card from your gauge face up, plus 2 power, plus 1 speed. Okay, Zain just saying, I'm not gonna draw this spike. I mean, I guess this is just the way Zain likes to play, huh? Just likes to go for... just adds the... likes to sprinkle a little bit of chance into the mix-up here. 2 fasts, though, in the form of a speed 7 and a speed 6. Like, so the thing is, like, Grass beats 2 of these 3 options as well, because it will beat everything but the Kasho. I don't like this Unsheath at all. Zain's gonna let this stew just a little bit. Let the mix-up stew. Huh. I mean, as Enkidu, do you just mash like Tidal Spin or Grasp and hope it's not... or you can't mash Tidal Spin. It has to be Grasp that you mash, because Tidal Spin, of course, has the property of when it's played on defense, this tech cannot stun. So let's see what Chimera opts for. Sweep performs well against 2 of these 3 options as well. I guess there are just so many cards that perform against well, or not so many, but there are several options that perform against 2 of these 3 cards. It is the Kasho. Chimera just opts for the focus. Okay, so that's like the quote-unquote safer option. So this will be a 7 power Kasho. Yuzu will advance to range 4. Will hit Enkidu for 5 after armor. Enkidu will draw a card, of course. Not stunned. Not stunned. due to the defenses and of course due to the passive on Casho. So works out for Zain, I guess, but 33% of the time that's just a dead card where you're basically discarding a gauge and a card from your hand. I don't like it at all. But works out for Zain here. Yeah, Zain also finding himself at only one card in hand. Against Enkidu's 4, however, Enkidu is at range 4. So the only option that hits is Dive. Enkidu's spending a Thunderstomp from Gauge to move 1. Guess there's no 3 Precept in the discard, I'm assuming. Because that's my kind of play. As Zain overpreps and then drops that last card back in. Yeah, I'm assuming there's no 3 Precept left in here, because that's a... I do that with Enkidu when I'm autopiloting. I'll spend a Force to move 1 instead of doing the Enkidu prep. Of course, we are in a tournament here, so don't think that's what's happening. That's what's happening. Zain, of course, having to prepare, only had 1 card left in hand, back to Enkidu, who's actually at a pretty decent life deficit here. Down 10 life. Didn't even recognize it. I mean, that's what getting hit by, like, 4 Cashos will do to you. Don't think it was actually 4. I think it was only 2, but... I mean, that's what'll happen. Just such a powerhouse of a card. Especially on a character like Yuzu that can build Gauge so easily. I mean, a lot of these Season 6 characters can build Gauge so easily, but Yuzu even has a key charge just as a UA on front side. Alongside just a suite of cards that are relatively easy to hit outside of Saki, which is just a terrible card. Okay, Chimera just shifting cards around in her hand. I feel like I do that sometimes, but only when it is not my turn. Chimera thinking about initiating a strike here. Okay, at range 3. We're finally going to see a non-3 precept come out from Chimera. I think Chimera struck with 1 spike. No, we're going to actually see the Maelstrom come out first. So discard your hand, draw 4. If you discard 3 or more cards, take their action. Notably drops a Gale Edge in that. So that's kind of sad. Especially because, wait. Was that Gale Edge in hand when Zain initiated the thing? Because Gale Edge would have beat all 3 options. I hope that Gale Edge wasn't in hand when Zain unsheathed. Because Gale Edge would have beat all 3 options. Because Gale Edge would have dodged the Casho, would have dodged the etc., and would have been outsped by the spike. So basically, like... In terms of like comparing it to playing Focus, You're basically playing a card that has infinite armor, as opposed to only the 2 armor focus, so don't really understand why focus was played, so I'm just going to assume that that was what was going on. And Chimera just drew the Gale just now. Anyway, as we alluded to earlier, Chimera finally plays a mix-up here, chooses for the dive, which will beat Yuzu's dive. Yuzu really wanted calling out the spike there, I guess. So yeah, Enkidu takes 5, dives himself to the corner, however. Or towards the corner, that is. Now he'll respect out of the corner, moving to range 3. So yeah, Zain was also feeling quite antsy against the 3 precepts as well. Or against the 3 precept mix-up. Especially because Chimera had played 0 until like the Hail Mary spike at range 2. Which we called out, I believe, towards the end of game 2 when Chimera was down like 20 life or whatever. Okay, Zain initiating a strike into the respect. Let's see if he goes on curve here, or opts for slow. Maybe might opt for slow. Actually, I feel like this is this card. Where is it? I feel like this feels like a Kiri to me. I don't know why. It's just I feel it in my bones. This feels like a Kiri to me. Why does it feel like a Kiri to me? Because Chimera just about to dive, and like didn't strike with spike, and like maybe Zane's thinking that okay, Chimera would have struck with spike over dive there or something. I don't know. Maybe the logic's a little convoluted. But this feels like a Kiri to me. Chimera thinking of the wild swing. Chimera does wild swing. I was totally wrong. It was the spike from Yuzuriha, which will be dodged by the tidal spin, funnily enough, with its after advance 2. Null beat. Go next. Null beat, go next. Huh, I guess I was completely wrong on that then. That said, that Kiri would have performed super well. So, I mean, that's the credit I will give myself. That Kiri would have performed immensely well in this scenario. Okay, Chimera opts for the prepare action. Back to Zain here, who has 3 cards. Yep, we'll just opt for the prepare action again. Back to Chimera. Zain, of course, with a little bit of that life lead still intact. Chimera will spend 1 force to exceed. Okay, so we can take a look at Enkidu's exceed action. Strikes the other 3 precept free engage to gain +2 power, +1 speed. Okay. Maybe Chimera going for like a 2-turn play as Yuzu opts for her action, which is a key charge, tossing that Saki into the gauge. Threatening second Casho, of course. With that 7 power. Is Chimera thinking of reverting with tossing a 3 precept and reverting? Because there's only 1 3 precept in her gauge right now. Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. So, of course, you can spend the 3 life to add this to your gauge, take another action, but no, Chimera opting for the reversion into 3 precept, where we're using a 3 precept, toss that into gauge to revert in a second action. So just like a scuffed key charge, really scuffed key charge, and then a retreat back to range 4. A retreat back to range 4. I mean, Zain only has one. I believe Zain only has 1 Tachi left, I guess. Casho at range 4 becomes way easier to deal with when you're advancing right into melee range. Like I say, I did not expect the air dash backward from Enkidu here. I feel like Enkidu would have wanted to stay a little bit closer. Maybe this signifies that Enkidu will go for like an Enkidu prep next turn, moving back to range 3. As Zain just preps back, so I mean, Chimera does have the opportunity to go for that play. If she does have a 3 Precept in her discard. I actually don't know if she has a 3 Precept in her discard, that's the thing. Yeah, Chimera now finds herself at range 4, which is not a standard Enkidu range. We'll just prep at range 4. Okay. Yuzu will Yuzu action again, tossing that second Saki into the gauge. No reading into Saki this time from Zain. Back to Chimera here. It's a little bit of a lull in the action, actually, weirdly enough. From two normally very aggressive players. Not aggressive, but strike-intensive players, I guess is the better way to say it. Okay, Enkidu opting for the Enkidu prep, as we explained earlier. So now Chimera will have to discard 2 cards from her... Chimera will have to discard 2 cards from her hand. Why did she not Enkidu prep last turn? Yuzu, of course, telegraphing that she's going to be air dashing back to range 5, which will force Enkidu to move in. Sort of, not really, because... Oh, wait, is Zain going for retreat to range 5 if Enkidu doesn't move in, unsheath with double Saki engage? That seems like a very Zain play. I will say that much. That seems like a very Zain play. So if I'm Chimera, I'm watching out for that. Because I believe only one over here was used as well. That's spicy. It looks like Chimera drops a Demon Seal and a 3 Precept to drop down to 7 cards. Yuzu moving back to range 5. Is that plan on? I think that's what Zane's going for. I legitimately think that's what Zane's going for. Huh. I mean, we saw him go for like a really risky unsheath earlier, so why not now? Okay, Chimera checking the deck, did the discard. Notably, Yuzu has 7 in hand, only 6 in the deck. I don't think a reading is a feasible play here, but maybe just checking to see what options are left. Maybe checking if that unsheath is alive, which it is. Or at least I believe it is. Also, what is this art? It's over here like a dodge, I guess. This art is... I guess I'm not a big fan of art in general, but... I don't know, man. Every Yuzu card looks the same to me except for that. I much prefer my Art Lol proxies. Anyway, Chimera has a billion resources, so she should have no problem moving in to deal with the Unsheath threat. Enkidu prep, moving to range 4, will pick up a 3 precept and will have to discard down for end of turn. Feels a little slow. We'll discard that 3 precepts. Like, this is, like, really slow gameplay. 2 turns in a row, Enkidu just opting for the Enkidu prep at full hand. Yuzu immediately puts that Kiri into Gage and flips. Oh my. Is Zain really going for the RNG here? Surely not. He's got 2 Sakis, a Kiri, and a Kasho. So Saki actually has the trait of gaining stun immunity once it's into Gage. Doesn't make it a good card by any stretch of the imagination. Don't get it twisted. This is not a good card, but I mean, it becomes a card almost now. Huh. And of course, also has that Kasho in the Gage, which would be... That's the real threat. At 9 power speed 6, with Chimera only at 11 HP. That's the real threat. Let's see how Chimera tries to deal with this. Looks like we are 2 hours into the video almost. If surely you're not watching this in one sitting, but just in case you are, drink some water, my guys and girls and bees. Drink some water. I've personally I might need to fill up between this game and the next one. Because, this is a long set. I guess I haven't... Luckily, I decided early on that I really wasn't going to be talking the whole way through. About life or various other tangents, but still. Hopefully the audio and everything's coming out okay as well. It's not really something I tested beforehand, I'm not gonna lie. Man, that would really suck, huh, if I just lost 2 hours of content. I wouldn't call it great content by me either, but that would be sad. Chimera opting for a third Enkidu prep at 8 cards in hand. And Yuzu going for the flip back. Yeah, highly unusual to see someone Enkidu prep 3 turns in a row. I mean, there's a lot of dilly-dallying going on, I guess, in that Zain hasn't really done anything yet to, like, improve his position for the next strike. Like, he's been at full hand. He's just dumping cards in a Gage. So... yeah, Chimera just... I mean, Chimera's able to do this, which is weird and probably shouldn't happen, but hey, maybe Zane's hand is just like bad that he can't strike or something. There must be other circumstances there. But it's shocking to me that Enkidu's been able to Enkidu prep at 7 cards 3 turns in a row. with no punish from Yuzu as far as like a boost is concerned. I guess both Angel losses were dropped really early this game, but still. Okay, we're gonna see Enkidu drop a Spiral Dual Palm Strike from hand. We'll probably also drop the 3 precepts. If you don't drop the 3 precept, that is telegraphing something majorly, so... Maybe she's okay with telegraphing that she's finally drawn another 3 precept in hand. Maybe she's okay with that. Drops the Gale Edge. I believe that's both the reverse DPs down now from Enkidu's side. That's shocking to me that Gale Edge is the card that gets dropped, as Yuzu boosts respect after the revert moving to range 1. Makes sense. Enkidu isn't really the best character at range 1. Those 3 precepts do a lot more work at range 3. Especially where you can mix it up with a dive or a spike, so... Range 1 makes sense. Yuzu can brawl with cards like Kiri. Back to Enkidu here. Only 7 cards left in deck. Alongside the 7 in hand. Zain checking that discard like he's about to read something this turn. Chimera shifting a card like she's about to play EX3 Precept at range 1. Yeah, this is a bit of a slog. But there's more coming up. Zain has Yuzu and Noelle on his roster. Chimera has Enkidu and Lychee on her roster. So don't go anywhere because this set's about to heat up. I know that sounds sarcastic, but it actually wasn't. Again, it just sounded sarcastic, so I'm getting a little sleepy. Now it's Chimera checking discards. Maybe Chimera's reading? Yeah, it's safe to say if you've made it this far into the video, you are a true fan of Exceed, and I thank you for making it this far in the video. You know what? If you made it this far, leave a comment saying I made it, smile, or something along those lines. So I'm actually interested to see how many people actually watch these the whole way through. Because this particular match is it's over 2 hours, and it has no intention of it's gonna be at least 3 hours. We see the mix-up coming out from Enkidu, so this is going to be a step back almost assuredly into a strike. Range 2. Fastest option obviously would be cross, set speed 6. Would dodge basically everything except the second copy of Spike. The Spike-like, excuse me, I believe it's called Tachi. Yeah. Although maybe both those are down, I can't even remember. This game has been a slog. No. Okay, so we're gonna see the Casho come out. Second copy of Casho come out. This will be a 7-power Casho. Of course, Enkidu will take 7. But Yuzu will advance to the corner where she will not stun the Spike, which will hit back for 5. Unfortunately, this kind of trade, a trade of 7 health for 5 health and 2 gauge would be pretty good. Except Enkidu's already at such a huge life deficit. Looks like we're gonna see the Just Defense come out here. Just Defense. So what is this, like Just Defense Assault, perhaps? Just Defense, etc. Is another one. Maybe Enkidu thinking that because Chimera didn't strike with a cross last turn that she doesn't have a cross, although Chimera is a known Spike lover. This feels like Just Defense, etc. to me, or Just Defense Assault, whichever one is available. You can respond to that with like an EX3PS. EX3PS is a really good option here if Chimera has it. Although we know that she's been kind of in struggle town as far as drawing 3 presets go. Well, to be fair, she was kind of like deck cycling. Wasn't really deck cycling very much either. Was just choosing to draw a card and then move in 3 times instead of a massive CC into a massive move option. So yeah, I'm interested in what this could be though. It just feels like Assault, but maybe there's a world where it's not. Maybe there's a world where it's like, oh, or it's an over here. I don't think it's an over here, but who knows? Who knows? Chimera responding with only 1 card. This could also be like the Spike in theory. Just a 3 armor, 4 guard Spike. Chimera is opting for block. And it is the Kiri. Okay. Okay, oh no, no, I like this a lot actually. I've never seen this before. The Just Defense to the Kiri. So of course Kiri loses power when you take damage, but if you pop a Just Defense on it, you're not losing any damage. I like that a lot. I've actually never seen that play before. Cool. Very cool, very cool. Anyways, 7 power Kiri coming in. Chimera just blocks. Zain will refresh his card. And Chimera needs to block probably all of it, honestly. I think there's a difference between 3 health and 4 health in this scenario, so you probably want to just block all of it. You're also down all your ultras, so you don't really need gauge. Maybe you need a 3 PS. I didn't realize there were 2 3 PS, 3 PSs in here. So maybe you drop the Spike and then like 2 cards from hand or something like that. Take nothing. That was really nifty from Zain there. Is there a world where Chimera takes 1 damage? Like, probably, if those cards in hand are valuable enough. But the problem is she can't really convert the 3 PSs to too much damage. Because she's not Exceeded. Exceed's obviously, like, the best way to convert those to easy, reliable damage. Because you can convert them to damage, but it's not exactly reliable when you're at 4 HP. And you're up against Yuzu, a trading monster. Although, maybe it's not a trading monster anymore, because both carries are down. Both foci are... I don't know how many focuses or sweeps are left. This has been too long of a game for me to remember that. Not gonna lie, I'm feeling a little bit drowsy here. Will I have to chop this up into pieces? I hope not. Does YouTube have an upper end on videos for people who don't have a lot of subs and aren't really like part of the partner program or anything like that? Will it just take me like 4 hours to process the video and we'll just like release in the middle of the night? I guess that's okay. I really hope I don't have to chop this video up. I think the longest commentary I've had on this channel is maybe 2.5 hours, and I think we're going to surpass that for sure. Is Chimera doing... Chimera's doing an exact count on what cards are left. 0, 1, 2, 3, 7 over here, and one more mystery card. I feel like that makes through mystery cards and etc., if I'm not mistaken. That's one of the downsides of Yuzu's things being so long, is that first of all the pictures all look the same. So like when you're searching the discard, you can't search by picture, and like 3 of these they start with Bato Jutsu, right? So it's actually kind of annoying to count cards against a Yuzu for that reason. I might have to use the restroom soon. I'll probably do it after the end of this turn. I probably should have done it during this block, though, huh? Because this block itself is taking like 5 minutes or something. Yeah, you know what? We're just gonna use the restroom now. I will be right back. Hopefully nothing intense happens during this block. Okay, apologies, but we are back. We also took a little bit of a walk just to get the blood pumping. You know, we can't really be sitting down for 2.5 hours like this. But looks like Chimera has chosen to block all but one of the damage, discarding a spike from Gauge and a 3 PS from hand. We'll take one down to 3 HP. Okay, Chimera, thinking of boosting something. Takes it back immediately. Chimera spends 2 force to move back to range 4. Is range 4 far enough for what she wants to do? Because now she can just get like mixed up on. Zain can boost mix up and then threaten. Over here is not the best thing to threaten. I guess he doesn't really have a lot to threaten. Assuming this card counts right, although this card counts definitely missing one card. I don't know what that card is. If that card's an etc., then surely there's some mix up into etc., but... Okay. Come around with a little bit of a disengage here. Looks like we're gonna see the Unsheath come out anyway. This is... No. No. This is an Unsheath with a 40% chance to hit on Saki or Kasho, and Saki sucks, so on Kasho. What is going on? And I guess the assault and the assault shapes that Enkidu has, he doesn't really want to be playing those because those lose to Kiri. So, okay, so we have an Unsheath coming out, and these are our options. This hits, these prevent Enkidu from moving in, this hits, and it's like the best option by far, and then this is like the worst option because it like misses and is fast. Okay, this is a wild Unsheath, everyone. I guess this is the kind of jolt that I needed to wake up after what has been a little bit of a slog of a match so far. But yeah, here are our options. We'll just take a good look at those. Chimera only has 2 cards in hand. Interestingly enough. So, I feel like I'm missing 1 card from the count. Yeah, because she is missing 1 card from the count. She counted 6 cards, but there are 7 cards left. So, I mean, better late than never, I guess. Chimera going for a random wild swing. Okay, so we have true randomness coming here. Well, let's see what we get. Zain, of course, picks the best one, gets cash out. So unless this is blocked, that's GG. And it's a grasp, it doesn't even matter. Okay, so Zain takes game 3 in this. I guess he was up, but this is such a weird fashion. I guess the over here is not as terrible as I thought. It's not great, but the unsheaths were definitely in favor of Yuzu today. Let's just say that unsheathing cash out twice is super good. And actually, yeah, no blocks left for Enkidu, so that was just checkmate. Because Enkidu had used one to tech hit earlier. So yeah, Zain takes game 3. Is Yuzu beating Chimera's Enkidu. Chimera will be forced to stay on Enkidu for a third game, and Zain will be out on the Noel, interestingly enough. So I've actually played that matchup once. I don't think the way it went for me was how a traditional matchup goes with Noel, just because I believe I won with a Demon Seal. I think I Demon Seal to catch a cross, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, anyway, my experiences are irrelevant. This, of course, is a tournament match. We got Noel here. Never actually seen Zain's Noel before. I don't think I've ever actually seen Noel Zain before. As he says, no cat ladies here. We're just going for simple Noel. We have cast Noel on the channel, of course, but I don't ever think I feel like I've never seen Zain's Noel before, so this should be interesting. As Noel is starting back at range 5 for some reason. I'm sure they'll fix that as they come to it. Players just having a little bit of a chat. We are 2.5 hours in, so small talk is, I guess, that's appreciated, I guess. Although Zane's actually not saying anything back to Chimera, which is funny. Chimera just lamenting what she should have done differently in the previous game. I'm not going to comment on that. Zain, all business. No chat, all business. I feel like they're not in a voice chat together either. I feel like that's what they said at the start of the game. So Zain will take first. Just move the guy there myself, so it's really bothering me. Noelle has range 4 options. No, she has Fireball, Optic Barrel, Speed 3, so does lose to Dive. Also has Type 1, but I don't think Type 1... Like, playing Type 1 at range 4 is just kind of sad. So those are her range 4 options. But again, like, I don't think we're going to see Type 1 at range 4. That's just such a sad option to play for Noelle. Take a look at Noelle's UA. When you initiate a gauge, when you initiate a strike, you may spend 1 gauge to gain +1 speed. And on backside, she gets like +1 speed, gain advantage or something. I don't remember. It's something wild. It's basically Noelle just takes 4 turns in a row and with +1 speed when she overdrives. But if we look at the kit, not very high damage numbers here. We see 3, 3, 3. We do see a 5, but it's not a slow fireball. And then a 4, but on a mid speed shape. And even the ultras, 5 for 2 gauge. That's decent, I guess. It's not great, but I mean speed 7 as well. And then the Bullet Storm, the 3 to 4 6 4, 6 power for 3 gauge, but ignores armor. As we see the turn 1 Swift attack coming out from Zain, +1 speed, hit, gain, advantage, and add this to your gauge. Okay, that's interesting. It's a pretty good boost. Doesn't really get immense value at range 4, but like EX Optic Barrel is now something to be extremely worried about for Chimera. Dive as well, now at speed 5, will outspeed Enkidu's dive. I didn't really foresee Enkidu striking with a dive here anyway. I guess it means defensive jazz hands from Enkidu is not going to really work here. This Chimera really taking a long time on how to diffuse this threat. This is a strike? Is this cross? Oh no. Oh, well, this actually works out fine. What's the sweep doing? The sweep catching the dive, I guess? Okay, so sweep. Weirdly enough, the sweep will outspeed the Gale Edge at speed 3. Sweep will miss, only hitting 1 to 3. And then the Gale Edge will come in afterward. And will miss as well. Tossing a Gale Edge like that, I don't like that into Noelle. Noelle hates Gale Edge. Noelle hates this card. Obviously being the speed demon that she is, she hates this card. It feels like a little bit of a waste. I think Cross would have been okay, but not Gale Edge, and like even Cross is not great. And then on top of that, you're also initiating a strike, which means Zain now has a turn where he boosts Fierce. Back to Enkidu. Yeah, I don't like that at all. Too cute. Too cute for me. Especially in a matchup where Gale Edge is, in my opinion, really important. You're just tossing him out like that. Nah. Okay, Chimera tech hitting the Fierce. Doesn't want to get out-traded here in the early game. Now striking. Enki striking from range 2 here. Notably, Noelle does have a DP shape at speed 7. And Enkidu probably is not incentivized to cross here, so this is probably a slow coming out from Enkidu. If I had to guess. It is a slow, however, Noelle says, okay, if you're playing a slow, I'm just going to cross out myself. Please take 3. Enkidu will advance 1 because he's not stunned off the chained kick. A naked chain kick with 0 gauge though. 0-3 precepts in the gauge. Alright, back to Noelle here, who will now initiate a strike at range 3. Assault dive spike mix up. Noelle doesn't really have very much else. Like she has Type 1, I guess. That's not Type 1. And she's Optic Barrel, I guess. Not Optic Barrel. So we're looking at Assault Dive Spike mix up here. Let's see if Chimera can call this properly. Oh, low-key to me feels like Assault, but maybe I'm wrong. No, okay, Zain going for the Optic Barrel. I guess Optic Barrel does beat the 3PS, funnily enough. Or trade, rather. So 3PS will pop in, deal 3 damage to the Optic Barrel, which will not be stunned with the guard of 4. Optic Barrel will hit back for 5. Huh. I guess I was just completely wrong. Zain would go for the Optic Barrel at range 3. It's not a terrible, terrible option. We've been seeing Zain go for these kind of guarded, slow moves at range 3 against Enkidu a lot, just because Chimera's really been representing his 3 precept strike quite a bit. As all Enkidu players do. Back to Chimera here. When I shuffle your hand. Personally, I do recommend if you have 2 cards in your hand or like a low amount of cards in your hand, just group them, flip them over, group them, and then shuffle them. That's what I do. That's what I've been doing these days. Looks like Chimera will prep. In turn, Zain will also prep. Back to Chimera. Chimera will boost Mix Up, step back to range 3, and set an EX attack. So obviously EX 3PS is the main threat. Can't be Spike anymore, so I mean, this is just EX 3PS. That's the problem with Mix Up into an EX, is that now you're not representing that EX Spike, which I think is so important. It's so important for Enkidu to represent Dive and Spike. So I mean, this is EX 3PS, and yeah, it gets focused. It's like basically what's been going on in these early games is that Chimera's been striking with a lot of early 3PSs, and they're ending up into gauge, but she's not getting value once they end up into the gauge, and she's like going down like 5, 6, 10 life for the 3 precept strikes, right? Because they're like so obvious, and then like eventually because she doesn't get the value out of the 3 precepts in the gauge in the late game, she just like dies. It's really unfortunate, as we see Zain prep again. Now Zain has 4 cards more than Enkidu. Enkidu has to prep here. Maybe Enkidu prep? I don't even know. Maybe just regular prep over Enkidu prep. Well, maybe you don't want to deal with the DP shape, so maybe you Enkidu prep for that reason. Okay, Chimera opting for the Enkidu prep, returns that 3 precept to hand, will draw a card for end of turn, moves to range 1. Zain boosting defend at range 1. Classic maneuver. Back to Chimera. Sorry, I was looking away for a second. I think I missed the sound cue of Chimera prepping. No, never mind. It's Chimera's turn still. Did not miss the sound cue. I forgot that a Chimera Enkidu prepped the turn before to get herself up to 4 cards. Wonder what percentage. Okay, as we see Chimera boosts Calamity Crest. That's the first time we've seen her boost that. Spend 3 light to add this to your gauge, then take another action. She will boost Calamity Crest and prep. It's first time for her using that action. Now she does have 3 Calamity, three precepts in here. The parry comes out on Gale Edge. Hits the Gale Edge, so that in and of itself is huge. Like, the fact that Zain no longer has to deal with Gale Edge is massive. Absolutely massive for a character like Noelle, who just relies so much on outspeeding her opponents. That's a huge pick off there from Zain. Do you even reshuffle? Do you reshuffle after seeing that? As Chimera initiates a strike at range 1 into the defend. Notably, Assault, normally a safe play after with a defend. Not here, because Enkidu can throw out a 3PS. Looks like an EX coming out. EXDP, perhaps? EX Muzzle Flitter at speed 6. Will pop the focus. So EX Muzzle Flitter will go first. We'll spend 1 force to ignore guard. Focus, of course, will absorb some of that, but will take 2 damage. And will be stunned out. It's a little bit expensive spending the EX on this Muzzle Flitter, but the EX allowed it to beat 3 PS very crucially. I think that's the main... I mean, 3 PS and 3 PS shapes, mostly 3 PS. Because that 3 PS would have been 6 power, of course. Back to Zain. But yeah, am I crazy for thinking that reshuffling just to get both Gale Edges back into the deck is unironically a fine play to make? I feel like I'm not crazy when I say that. It sounds crazy, but I mean, Noelle's 4 gauge. Noelle should just prep, and then go, right? Prep once and go. Although maybe you don't go just yet, just because you're at range 1. Maybe you need to like cross out, advance out of the corner and then do that. Because you really want to be threatening your spikes and your dives, especially with EX Muzzle Flitter down. And also 1 copy of Type 1 down as well. So yeah, maybe that's in order first. Get out of the corner, get out of range 1. Okay, I guess Zain just didn't know. Yeah, Zain prepping once. Back to Chimera. Chimera boosting tactical. +1 speed, now advanced to retreat 1. Chooses to retreat 1. Zain with a CC3 drops the Bulletstorm and the dive to drop 4. Fresh hand now for Zain. Also gets sort of says, okay, don't really need to tech you because you're a season 6 guy. And Bulletstorm. Does Bulletstorm do work against Enkidu? Does Enkidu allow Bulletstorm to ever hit? Probably not. Hopefully not, but. Chimera just opting to prep in response back to Noel. Yep, and Noel decides, okay, got some distance, time to flip. So we can take a look at this flip side now. When you initiate a strike, your attack has +1 speed and hit gain advantage. So basically, Noel's going to be taking 4 turns in a row here, assuming nothing goes wrong. The overdrive affords you a little bit of an extra movement as well. And of course, the +1 speed is now a free benefit, which is really cool. It's not an action like Season 6, so you can read and do other things and still get that passive bonus. As opposed to the Season 6 characters, which only provide active bonuses for the most part. Back to Chimera. Chimera initiating a strike here. Will this be bet by DP from Noel? Oh, okay. Apparently, Zain has 8 cards in his hand. Did not catch that. But I guess that makes sense because he CC'd to a full hand of 7 and then flipped. Yeah, did not catch that one, but Chimera's on it. Zain discarding the spike, interestingly enough. I feel like the spike would have been a useful thing. Maybe not. No, not so useful into Enkidu, who has 3 PSs engage. Let's see if Noel responds to the DP. It is the DP, and it is the cross from Enkidu. So that will stun out the cross, will deal 3 damage. Fortunately, Noel is now at range 5 against an Enkidu, so this is going to be an overdrive. Actually choosing to close one, interestingly enough, so no Optic Barrel. And we see a step in, close 1 and strike, initiating with an EX. So this EX is relatively well known. I don't know what this is, though. I don't know what this is, but it's... Was it just EX Assault? I don't think this... I feel like it's not EX Assault. EX Assault at speed 7 is a little bit overkill. 5 power, 7 speed. But it's not Dive or Spike. So, I mean, this is just EX Assault, I guess, because there's no gauge for Bulletstorm. I guess face-up EX Assault, though, totally fine. I mean, it's 5 power. It gains advantage anyway. I mean, you're losing a little bit of value on that, but also who cares? And you're up 7 life. So, I mean, this makes perfect sense. Even if Enkidu wants to trade with, like, a sweep or something, he's trading 5 for 5. And that's pretty sad. Actually, very sad. Incredibly sad. Of course, here's where your auto dodges would be useful. I guess Gale Edge isn't useful in this scenario, but when you're down both Gale Edges this early against a Noelle, I think you're just incredibly sad as Enkidu. Because the additional stats is just too much to handle, namely the additional speed. Enkidu striking with a single card back, that is going to be a chained kick. So this EX Assault will hit for 5, will not stun because this chain kick has 7 guard. And the chain kick will hit back for 3 after armor. So that's really unfortunate that that's the or actually no, excuse me, 6. I forgot that's his additional power. I mean, so that's pretty good. Unfortunately, it is going to be Noelle's turn again, and I'm not sure if it's good enough, especially because we saw chain kick go down already. Overdrive will go off again. Noelle will choose to retreat to range 2. Will almost assuredly strike again. Oh, Wild Swing. 9 cards in that deck, so there's a decent amount of variance as to what this could be. Wild Swing is actually quite surprising. I thought Zain would have one option left, especially after moving back to range 2, but no, just opts for the Wild Swing. Yeah, as Chimera notes, Wild Swing with +1 speed isn't terrible. I mean, you're using your deck to employ a mix-up, and you're heavily favoring this mix-up for the most part, especially with both Gale Edges down. Seems fine to me. Okay, Chimera will respond with a card from hand, looks like. Okay. It is going... Uh, okay. I mean, this is one way to trade up. This trades up massively. Unfortunately for... It is the sweep. So the sweep will do 6 damage. Pulls the sweep out of Chimera's hand, which is actually a pretty good pull, because the sweep's not going to do anything. This Demon Steel costs 3 gauge. And Noelle will take 10. Wow. I mean, I feel like a Demon Steel would not have worked against a lot of cards. Maybe it would have, I don't know. And yeah, Noelle will get her advantage yoinked. Funnily enough, that Demon Steel is actually quite sick from Chimera. I mean, I feel like it lost a lot of combat, so maybe I'm mistaken on that. Maybe my read on that is wrong. Chimera returns EX3PS to her hand. Unfortunately, EX3PS is not lethal. It's not a lethal option. But hey, at least Noelle doesn't get a turn to strike. Like, Enkidu gets a turn to do something and prevents Noelle from just, like, running over Enkidu here. Let's see what Chimera opts for here. Chimera opts to step back 2. Is that far enough? Because Noel's going to step in 1. I'm questioning whether this is far enough. Just to jump back 2. I mean, known EX3PS. Type 1 wins games here. Type 1 would be speed 6. Oh, Drive Charge also wins games. Now Strike before Advance 2. Just completely just mitigate everything. Good boost. Good boost. Just completely mitigate the range 3 setup that Enkidu's trying to represent. This can be anything. Although to be fair, if like Chimera has like something random like EX Focus or something, then like EX Thunderstomp, she could still win in theory. If she has like EX Thunderstomp, she could still win. Very unlikely though. Just the fact that Enkidu has such a massive deck, and she hasn't even gone through half of the deck yet. So it just feels like an EX with armor to save her. It just feels so unlikely. Plus we gotta count cards here to see like what live options are left. So the thing is, like, this before Advance 2 telegraphs a 3 damage move in a lot of cases, and if you're telegraphing a 3 damage move, you can armor through and hit back for lethal if you have like EX Thunderstomp or something. That's the only concern. Although to be fair, EX Thunderstomp doesn't even work because EX Thunderstomp prevents this before movement from happening. Nope, it's the second copy of the Ultra. Zergun Fenrir 157. That will miss because Thunderstomp was played. Oh man, Chimera at the... Oh man, Chimera saves herself with the Thunderstomp. Which we did call out earlier, like Thunderstomp preventing that before Advance 2 could be detrimental. Thunderstomp, of course, doesn't hit either, but... Now, is there a world where you just play 3 Precept into 3 Precept? Just say, okay, I'm just going to take this risk. And just don't let Noel take a turn? I mean, you have to look at the cards here. The main threat here is the Spring Raid, for sure. Type 1's too slow. Optic Barrel would be a threat on the first one, not the second one. Maybe this is something worth going for. Just strike with 3 PS into 3 PS. We need to know exactly what these 8 cards are for us to mathematically calculate whether that's worth going for. But basically, you don't want to get caught by Optic Barrel on the first one, or Spring Raid on the second one. I believe there's a cross left. I don't think striking with EX is the correct move, though. I think you want to strike with 1 into 1. This feels wrong. You're letting Noel take a turn. And I don't think you want Noel to be taking a turn here. This would be correct if the EX killed, but it doesn't, so... Is there a focus left in the deck? Okay, well, neither of these cards... Or, the first one can't be focus. Okay. Spring Ray will go first. And then the 3 PS will hit back for 4. We'll close 1. Yeah, there. And now Noel can choose to retreat to range 2. And will Zain Wild Swing here now is the question. The downside of these Season 5 characters is that you can't actually reshuffle, but no, Zain opting just to prepare. I feel like striking with EX3 Precept was a mistake there. I think you want to go 3 PS to 3 PS, no? Because the second 3 PS also beats Focus. Because it has 4 power up behind it. So almost assuredly, you want to go 3PS and 3PS to maximize your win chances as Enkidu. So I feel like there was a missed win there for Chimera. Or like a missed like 70% chance win or whatever. I guess it does depend on the discard. Looks like Chimera will opt for the prepare in turn. Notably, Noelle out of DPs. So the fastest she can go speed 6, I believe. Zain going for like a Hail Mary reading 3 out of 19. We'll read Assault, I guess. We'll read Assault into what, type 1? I'm assuming it's read Assault into type 1. The Assault will miss. Funnily enough, there's no, like, you had to block. You had to block this as Enkidu, so it is the type 1. Now, the question is, do you discard the dive and just strike with the Ultra now? It's depending on what these last 5 cards here. We might be seeing a game 5. But, you just drop the dive, you take 1 damage, drop down to 2 HP, and then strike with the 1 to 3, 4, 4, 6. And that end game seems pretty solid to me. I mean, I don't really see how Noelle beats that. I think Noelle's down both blocks, if I'm not mistaken. If Noelle's not down both blocks, then maybe it's kind of sad, but I don't know. I just feel, especially because Noelle has now crossed over, so now something like cross doesn't work. And dive doesn't work because dive is the same speed. So surely you just discard, surely this is just discard dive and then mash your 1 to 3, 4, 4, 6, your spiral palm block. Should we? You know what? We're gonna take an unprecedented move here. We're gonna search here to see what's left. Normals, we have grasp, cross, dive. Specials, we have type 1. We have optic barrel, and we have assault through. Okay, yeah, this is checkmate. Spiral block beats everything. Assuming we counted right, but like, I mean, it is late. It is now 12:09 a.m. But Chimera, please just strike with the spiral block. There we go. Yeah, I mean, this is checkmate. Or at least, if we've counted right, this is checkmate. Dive. What dive? That beats dive. I don't know. Like, I don't understand why this was checkmate. Okay, so we're moving to game 5, and we're gonna be seeing a season 5 versus season 5 matchup here between Zane's Noelle, and Chimera's Lychee. So everybody, wake up! I know we've been sleeping, but it's time to wake up. It's time to feel re-energized, get that second win going. I know we're 3 hours in, but it's time. It's time now for Game 5 versus Zain. For Zain versus Chimera. Noelle versus Lychee. No season 6. No special boosts. No special normal boosts. No tactical. We are in full season 5 gameplay. Hope you guys are as excited as I am pretending to be. No, just kidding. I am. Let's see this game 5. We've been here for so long. We might as well just finish it off. Just gonna take 30 seconds to stand up and stretch. I recommend you do the same if you've been sitting down for a couple hours, like I have. Chimera wins the coin toss. The winner has won the coin toss every single game so far, which is weird. Did Chimera opt to go sec? Oh, Chimera lost the coin toss. Okay, never mind. I thought Chimera won the coin toss. Nope. Zain wins the coin toss. Mulls 5. Lychee. Turn 1 on defense. Has the -1 speed. Does have extra range, but -1 speed because the Mentembo begins off the arena. A little interesting nuance there. Chimera, mulliganing cards. How many should you go mulligan? Do you like this fake excitement? I hope you're enjoying it because I am tired. But the show must go on. And it's fitting that this ends in a game 5. Chimera mulling 3 cards from her hand. And we're off. Zain, turn 1, aggression. Boosting dive charge, now strike before advance 2. Notably, this will almost assuredly outspeed anything Lychee throws. Because she's at -1 speed right now, due to the Mentembo being off the board. Is this just a dive charge? Is this just a dive charge spike, perhaps? A dive charge spike seems really good here. Chimera comments as a sweet mix-up. It's an expensive mix-up, but dive charge spike seems pretty good here. What does it even lose to? Loses to assault? In theory, I mean, this could be assault from Noelle as well. Could just also be a fast. I mean, Noelle can represent up to speed 7 at range 2. Noelle just opting for a wild swing here. It is the spike. It is the dive. Spike will outspeed the dive at only speed 3. Noelle will take, or Lychee will take 5 damage. Called it. Anyway, back to Chimera here. Chimera probably wants to put that Mentembo on the board. Mentembo on the board, Mentembo on Noelle seems okay. I will say my Lychee is garbage just because I've only played like 2 games of Lychee, and I've only played like 3 games against Lychee. Just a character blind spot for me a little bit. We'll take a look at the ability on Mentembo. So while it was removed off the field like it was last turn, like it starts off the game, Lychee gets additional range at the cost of speed. As an action, Lychee can move Mentembo 1 or 2 spaces, or this literal stick has more movement than Nirvana. We'll toss in a Nirvana joke in there, that one's for free. Hit, if the opponent is if this is in the opponent's space, you may remove this from the arena to gain +1 power and advantage. So basically this means that Lychee destroys sweep shapes with the card, like, I don't know, where's the 176? Here's 176. Good character. One of the characters that can theoretically advantage chain you from 30 to 0, just with careful Mentembo placement and such. Very strong character in my opinion. I think this character might be like the 3rd best character in Season 5. 3rd or 4th, up there. Definitely an A-tier character in my opinion. We saw Calavantis bring Lychee to the first Junkie Shapes tournament. I didn't really cast too much of that. I think I casted the winners finals match between Cal and Mix. Didn't cast any other matches besides that. But if you want to go check out the early Junkie Shapes matches, you can... I'm sure Someone's channel has them. Maybe D has them? I don't know. Lychee now removes... Wait, what? Lychee takes an action, putting Mentembo on Noelle last turn, and then removes the Mentembo on her next turn, and now is going to be striking with additional range at the cost of speed. So if we're looking at this from a speed curve perspective, obviously we're not really losing any speed, because Lychee can strike with essentially a speed 6 grasp here. Let's see if she goes fast or slow. Noelle opts for slow. Lychee also opts for slow. This I don't really like too much, because now Noelle gets a turn with the Mentembo off. So I'm not the biggest fan of this personally for that reason. Chimera just going for like a cheeky mix-up there, I guess. I mean, the problem with the cheeky mix-up there is that Focus is just such a good option there against like against your Grasps of the world and your Tsubami Geishis of the world. We actually haven't taken a look at Noelle's kit, but we'll take a look. I haven't done kit reviews for the entire set. My bad. I'll do better next time with that. We'll do kit review for Lychee. Lychee has like a weird grasp shape that puts Mentembo on the space that also like straight beats grasp, funnily enough, on defense. We have this 4 special that becomes a 176 that also places Mentembo on the board. Very good. We have Wrenchen, which is range 3, speed 5. Oh, I don't want to rewind. That would be bad. Which places Mentembo anywhere, basically. You have 4 Winds, which is an attack coming in from Mentembo, and only 5 speed, 3 damage. Low impact, but I mean, when for some reason, if you're zoned out from your opponent and the Mentembo's on them, then this option is decent. And we have the Unarmed Lunge, which is an ignore armor at speed 3, which with setup can close onto the opponent and then advances to the other side of the board. We've all green, which is kind of a head stomp shape at 366 with the Mentembo. Decent, like, I mean, two gauge. It's not a fantastic ultra, but it's like decent and like does its job. I mean, it's range 3, speed 6s. We like to outline those a lot on this channel. And here's one. It does cost 2 gauge, but you know. And then we have the 13 Orphans, which is another Mentembo hit, which does 6 damage as opposed to 3 from the 4 Winds. But we look at that boost, and that boost is very good. Lao Zhu, seal your hand, draw 5 and strike. So basically what you do is you spend your last card as force, so you draw 5, you draw a fresh hand and strike. Very good boost. Then we can take a look at the Astral here. 9 Gates of Heaven, 4 Gauger, 1/9/7 if things work out, but it feels like a trick shot. Lychee does not need this Astral to win, so I mean, just a burst. Looks like Lychee puts the staff on her space and initiates with an EX. Could be EX Cross, could be EX Renchan. Makes sense here. Noelle responding with the EX. Is this EXDP from Noelle? No, it's going to be EX Sweep, but it is the EX Cross from Lychee, which will beat that EX Sweep. Only dealing 2 damage, of course, but losing EX Sweep is very, very sad. Very, very sad. Although Lychee now finds herself at range 4, where she can't do a whole lot with the Mentembo on the board. So this is a free optic charge, optic barrel in theory. Well, free as in, I mean, loses to dive, but nope. Lychee, or excuse me, Noelle just opts to prepare back to Lychee. Oh, now finds herself at range 4. Can remove the Mentembo into a range 4 mix-up if she so chooses. Maybe that's something I'd consider if I'm striking with Assault, just so I can yoink the advantage and then put the Mentembo back on the board afterward, especially after seeing Focus into Sweeps down. Noelle, if we look at Noelle's kit, right, not a lot of guard here. The only guarded option that would work here is the Optic Barrel. We have seen Zain call out Optic Barrel, the 3 Precept Strikes with the Optic Barrel before, so it's not ridiculous to see Zain. It wouldn't be ridiculous to see Zain strike with an Optic Barrel in response to that mix-up. But anyway, I mean that's just the play I would go for. Yoink the advantage and then just prep, or then drop the Mentembo down. Prep. You're sitting at range 2. Yeah. Let's see what Lychee goes for here. However. Mentembo will get moved 1 spot. So this is the heavy telegraph of Reach robbing the Kong, but like the 4 damage version. Don't really know what's going on there. Noelle just boosts run. I think drew an extra card. Noelle opting to go to range 1 here. Okay, interestingly enough. That Mentembo's out in No Man's Land. Does that Mentembo even do anything in No Man's Land? Yeah, the unarmed lunge now closes 3, which doesn't matter, so doesn't do anything. And like now Reach robbing the Kong misses. Yeah, Mentembo kind of caught in a weird spot there. Of course, Lychee does have an emergency button for the Mentembo in Kote Geishi. Move Mentembo up to 3 spaces, take another action. Reach Last Chance, also like a thing, although I don't expect to see this come out with its cross down. So yeah, that Mentembo caught a little bit out there, but obviously Lychee can just move it onto Noelle. And then draw for turn, which is exactly what's going to happen. Draws up to the full hand, back to Noelle. Noelle now boosting Power of the Eye. Look at the opponent's hand, then strike. Let's take a look at this hand. We see 3-0-3-7, 4 wins, Geishi, Renchan, all green. So not a ton of range 1 options here, but notably the block is there just to mitigate anything. I mean, 4 wins is hilariously under curve. Does have the Grasp Tsubame Geishi. But like initiating with the slow here looks pretty good for Noelle. Like, unfortunately for Noelle, both sweeps and a focus is down. So does Noelle even have any slows to initiate with? Like, Noelle could, in theory, initiate with like a speed 7 DP or something. Could initiate it with cross, I guess. Nope, just initiates with 1 card. No crit on it. Could this be second focus? I think if it's second focus, I think you just play the Tsubame Geishi here. Well, I don't know. I feel like why? I mean, you're forced to initiate with the Power of the Eye. It's like this just feels like second focus, but the chances of it being second focus are so low, you know. Are you sad if you run your Tsubame Geishi to second focus a little bit, just because you're already down life? Does have that sweet after placing the Mentembo down, but like this hand kind of sucks, you know. Actually, no, the hand is not. Once this focus comes out, the hand is fine. Maybe you just smash Geishi here. And then you can grasp, and like the grasp is basically unbeatable. Oh wait, no, it could be the Ultra. It could be Zeragun Fenrir. I forget about this Ultra all the time. Oh, I just block here as Lychee. I forget about this Ultra. Yeah, just block here as Lychee, I think. Because I think getting focused is fine. But Tsubame Geishi dies to this because I believe it only has 4 guard. Where's that card here? Yeah, it only has 4 guard. So yeah, it just dies to that. So I think you just have to block this, unfortunately. So you block, and then next turn you strike with Grasp. Or no, you strike with... Yeah, the Grasp. You strike with the Grasp, push him here, and then you strike with the Wrenchen. Remove Mentembo, place it on them, and then you... Was that it? I mean, that's... Oh, you can all green them as well. Remove Mentembo, and then that's like a 15 damage chain that you can build with Lychee. Not 15. Like 13, 14 maybe? Let's see. Grass will be 4, Wrenchen will be 5, all green will be 6. Oh, 15 damage advantage chain right there. That's pretty good. That's not bad at all. And the only way to really stop that from Noelle is with an EX assault or something, or having that second focus in hand to beat the grass. But second focus in hand doesn't even beat the grass, because if it gets grass, you can just Tsubame Geishi afterward. Oh, okay. This is not what I expected at all. Yeah, so can't be moved. This will be a 3-for-3 trade. Noelle will be pushed to, and that Mentembo will be following. It's because there's a lot of stuff on there. And then if they attack hit, place the Mentembo in the opponent's space. Mentembo on the space now. A little bit risky there. Could have been the second Ultra. And if it was the second Ultra, Noelle Lychee would have lost. Not lost the game, but it would have been pretty bad if that was the second Ultra. But luckily, no, just the Grasp. Now here comes the Wrenchen. So you go Wrenchen, place the Mentembo back into the spot, and then to the all green. Okay. Lychee, unsurprisingly, will initiate a strike here. Should be the Wrenchen, as we outlined before. Is there a world where you strike with all green if it's EX Assault is in play from Noelle? Maybe. Funnily enough, like DP will quote unquote beat Wrenchen, because Wrenchen will still hit, but Wrenchen will no longer gain advantage if Noelle DPs. And Noelle does DP. Wow. And Lychee goes for the all green. Oh no. Oh no. At the very least, Wrenchen would have hit and placed the Mentembo onto her. No, that's a sequencing error. No, that's a sequencing error, 100%. That's an unfortunate way to throw away some gauge there. No, you strike with the Wrenchen there, like 100% first. Luckily, I did call it. I did look pretty good when I called out the spring raid right as it was played. That felt pretty good. But no, Lychee spends 2 gauge. That Mantembo's still out in the middle of nowhere. Game on again. Like, this game was not looking so good. Was not looking so hot for Zain, but now it's game on. If you are 3.5 hours into the video and you're still watching, thank you for watching. Please don't go anywhere. I mean, the action's starting to heat up. Don't go anywhere, but also, like, please take care of yourself and don't be sitting down for 3.5 hours. Seems bad. As we see the muzzle flitter boosted as the chain revolver, draw 3 and strike. Zain calling a crit. I shouldn't call it crit. But Zain spending 1 gauge for +1 speed on his strike. Telegraphing that he was playing something that would be a little bit risky, but is now safer with the +1 speed. So something like muzzle flitter or even spike here is okay. Assault under curve becomes on curve here at range 2. Could be a whole bunch of things. Probably not DP, probably not type 1, if I had to guess. Could even be assault through, just to get that up to speed 5. And especially Lychee having spent both EX crosses. I mean, a response to a speed 5 or lower option would be reach-robbing the Kong. Which is kind of weird because you don't get the full value out of it. It's just a straight 2-4-6 for 1 force, which is not great. But maybe that's an option that Chimera is thinking about. I don't know. That spring raid, though, was very well done from Zain. Just unfortunate that Chimera had that sequencing error. Oh, notably, this hand is also super known. I forgot. I don't remember what's in the hand. 0, 3, 0, 3, 7, 4 wins. 0, 3, 7, 4 wins. Renchan is the hand. Do you have to wild swing this? Can you really afford to play a Renchan at speed 5 here? Maybe you just have to wild swing this or block and hope it's not second spike. I feel like those are the only 2 options. I don't think you can risk a speed 5 Renchan here. And speed 5 Renchan also trades with spike, which is awkward. Okay. Is the Optic Barrel, which is a spike shape, except it doesn't do the thing. And it's just into a block from Lychee. So at the very least, Lychee can get rid of her no normals for what it's worth. This is going to be a 5 power Optic Barrel coming in. Lychee should mitigate with a card from hand. Probably the... Your hand's not the best if she gets rid of both the normals, because now Noel's in the face, and that hand does not look like a range 1 hand outside the grasp. Is there ever any world where you drop 1 card from hand, doesn't matter which one, and then CC the rest? Draw 4, draw a fresh hand. Maybe you recall the staff first and then do that. Like recall CC3, take 1 damage this off this block. That seems okay to me. No Laoju's in Lychee's hand. Chimera taking her time deciding what to do. And we are about to have a special treat. Just in case you guys were a little bit unhappy with the pace of the action, we may or may not have a special guest coming along. Hello. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you. Yes,
Oh.
ladies and gentlemen, for the first time ever on the channel, we have D Tarankin, the master himself, 3-0 in the tournament. Sorry, we're introducing hype because
what
we're
now?
3.5 hours into the tournament, into the set. So
I mean, that's fair. You got to do something to stay alive.
yes, D is here
Am I
for
3-0
you
in
were
this
3-0.
tournament?
You were 3-0
Huh.
because we're 3 weeks in, so you haven't lost yet, right?
Don't remember. See, that's the beauty of Swiss is I don't have to keep track. Someone else does that.
There you go.
Uh,
There you go. We
All right.
have not done sound check here. I believe you are extremely loud right now, so let me turn you down.
Fair enough.
You know what? That's okay. I mean, I got really loud for your introduction. Welcome to this set, by the way. It is 2-2.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm coming in for the finale for Game 5.
Oh, now I've made you too quiet. I've made you much too quiet. All right, we'll split the difference.
I'll leave that to you. But yeah, this is the perfect time for me to hop in. So
yeah, and
works
look,
out.
it's your season too.
Oh hey, yeah, it's Noel versus Lychee.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know nothing. I don't know anything about Lychee personally. I do know Noel because Migo plays a ton of Noel.
Gotcha. See, I'm just looking to look back at the picks. So I guess we had Yuzu, 9, Enkidu, and Aurier.
Yes. So the exact order was Aurier beat 9. Yuzu is not a character that was introduced yet. Enkidu lost to 9. Enkidu lost to Yuzu, and then Enkidu beat Noel.
Wait, how can... Well, okay, we have a parry, successful and unarmed lunge, so that is an excellent corner escape tool and a range 1 ignore armor option that can potentially hit for 6. And Noel does not... When the opponent's back is to the wall, Noel does not do much to get out of the way. She basically has cross and grasp, otherwise you're just at range 1.
Yep.
Like, she flies into your face all the time. So unarmed lunge is a very reliable defense tool. It makes sense to get rid of it.
And Type 1 no longer works as well, which is sad. Oh, actually, that's the second one. Type 1 boosted this turn. So.
But Swift attack does work, so
yeah.
That does no harm.
And listen, since you're here, you're going to be doing 80% of the talking now, so have fun.
Yeah, that's fair. You've been at it for a while.
Yeah.
I get to try to pick up and help out.
Yeah.
I still have my voice. You might not.
Yeah,
but
for now.
But hold on. If it's Game 5, that means both players have 2 wins.
Yes.
On the other characters that we haven't seen, which means we have to have seen Yuzu.
No, sorry. Yuzu beat someone. I remember Yuzu beat. Oh, it's been a while.
It's all good, mate. It's all good.
All right, hold on. No, we'll get it settled. Okay, Aurier beat 9. I know that for a fact. I watched that happen.
All right. Well, didn't you watch all of it happen?
Some would claim that I watched all of it happen. I hope you, the viewer, have watched it all happen. I actually hope that you didn't do it all in one sitting, though.
Hey, since I'm here, let me just say, anyone who's watching now or has been watching for a while, drink water.
I think I told him to do that once, like 2 hours ago.
See, there you go. Got to stay on top of it.
Yeah.
Folks. You too, see that.
I've already gone through a 32-ounce water bottle during this set.
Good. That's what I like to hear. Mm-hmm. All right.
No, I've been good at drinking water the past couple of years. So.
Yep. Excellent.
Yes. Okay, so Aurier beat 9. Chimera's Aurier beat Zain's 9. That happened. Mm-hmm. Chimera's Enkidu lost to Zain's 9.
Okay.
Chimera's Enkidu lost to Zain's Yuzu.
Okay.
And then Chimera's Enkidu beats Zain's Noel. And now we're here.
Got it. Okay, so Enkidu lost 2 games and then came back in the third to beat Noel, and now Noel.
I know, shockingly, because this tournament has seen a lot of 0-3 sweeps, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But that was a close game as well. That was actually low key a banger. The ending to that game.
Yeah. The format's interesting. The loser stays requirements does mean that if you're picking up a character that you're not really versed in, you can just get swept.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of those already. It's reading.
Yep. Oh, we have a reading.
This is the first reading I think Chimera's used all set.
Hey, make it a good one.
6 in hand, 10 in deck. Reading assault. I believe 2 assault. I believe 2 assaults are left.
Okay. Oh, that could have gone very badly.
Oh, yeah. That could have gone very badly. I mean, of course, my card count should just be horribly off, but I remember calling out that I feel like EX assault is left maybe half hour ago or something.
think we're waiting on the validation still, aren't we?
Yeah, we are.
Gotcha.
I'll just put it in now
Yeah.
because they're already
Okay.
like
Deciding.
4 steps ahead.
Yep. Yeah. So this is a force special, meaning Lychee is going to have to pay force, choose to pay from gauge, maintaining that 2 gauge. All right. And gains advantage by using the hit effect on Mansenba.
Yep.
And with the after, replaces the Mansenba in the opponent's space.
Yep.
This was undercurve, especially with that +1 speed on Noel's side. It would have lost horrifically to an EX Assault because you're out reading the force, the card.
If that even is an option.
If it's an option.
If it's an option, it would have lost, yeah.
But I'm assuming, for the sake of argument, that your card count is flawless and that you know
right, yeah, and I don't know why you wouldn't assume otherwise.
Right, yeah. Like, you're a Yomi player. You should have all cards memorized at all times.
It's true. It's true. The only problem is Yomi, I can access the discard whenever I want, which is the click of the button. I can sort it. It auto sorts for me as well. So.
Yep. Well, that is the problem with being a spectator. But at least they don't have to deal with our cursors flying around.
Sweep into focus. Advantage chain.
Okay. Yeah, and an extra point of damage.
Yep. 5 for 4.
Does resist.
And now Chimera started this game looking like she was ahead, and then she made like a mistake, and then fell a little bit behind in my opinion. But now it's looking quite good.
Mm-hmm. So did she already take the 4?
No.
Okay.
I want to say no. I don't know why I said it so confidently.
Like, we have no idea.
I feel like she didn't take 4. Okay, she didn't. Okay.
See, I would have. I was like, I didn't feel like it was at that big.
Yeah, because if the life totals were that much different, then that means that Chimera was nowhere near losing beforehand.
Right, and
that part I am confident in, that like Chimera was semi-losing, and not even semi-losing, but just like not winning as hard as she was before.
Mm. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Noelle drew only 1 card. Of course, not my responsibility. Anyway.
No. This is my room. I will take any and all blame.
Lychee with advantage, however, does not have the Manson bow on board. There's only so many ways to drop that, and it's either going to be inefficient in action or economy. So, time to make your pick.
Those are very large words that you've used.
Right. Well, she can drop it in her space freely, but she can't put it on Noelle's space without taking the whole turn.
No.
Unless she pays a copy of Unarmed Lunge.
She has Unarmed Lunge, which I believe 1 is down. One got
parried.
One got parried.
I don't know about the other one.
I don't think the other one has been seen. Has been seen yet. We'll go with that.
Yeah, that works. That's a perfectly good verb.
That's
in that form.
I mean,
helper.
It works.
But yeah, it works. Yeah, notably, like giving up an Unarmed Lunge to use the boost can get you like a really important board state reversal, but you're giving up a copy of Unarmed Lunge.
Yeah, exactly.
It's pretty notable. So I think we still usually are going to see the first action be to drop the stick.
Yeah, for sure.
In this situation, because that gets rid of the speed malice, and you don't need the extra range very much right now.
No, the extra range is to catch a cross with sweep.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yep, and Noelle is not super likely to cross out, although now with 3 gauge, she can start to threaten range moves. Alright, looks like it is going to be the full turn to get the stick onto Noelle.
Yep.
Which is an action and a half, as it were.
Makes sense to me.
Yep. Yeah, so getting rid of the speed malice is particularly important if Noelle still has any copies of Muzzle Flitter, her range 1 ignore guard. Well, range 1 and 2, but in this case, we only care about range 1.
I believe 1 Muzzle Flitter is left. The first one was used as a chain revolver, actually.
Okay, yep. Draw 3 strike.
Yep.
Keep that momentum rolling, keep those resources high.
Correct.
Yeah.
Zain strike. No UA.
Yeah, we don't see any gauge expenditure. Noelle might be looking to get that 4th gauge, because if she can secure that, that will let her roll into a potentially unstoppable advantage chain.
I believe there's 1 focus left in the deck, and every other option is fast.
On Noelle's side, there shouldn't be any focuses, because we saw a reading, didn't... Oh, no. The reading was on... Yep, reading was light.
So there's 1 focus in the gauge, and Zain whiffed an EX sweep earlier in the game.
Ouch.
Yes. Yeah. yeah. So it was EX cross initiated by Chimera at range 2, and Zain responded with EX sweep, and it was very sad.
Yep, that is a Well, no wonder the momentum swung.
Yeah,
That is a
that was
huge
backbreaking. It
answer.
was really bad. It was really sad. Very aggressive. Very
Yep.
sad. Anyway, Chimera looks like she's off for a sec.
Yep.
Oh, hopefully. Okay, so the thing is, these players have not taken large breaks between the games, so I hope they're doing okay.
Yes. Players also take care of yourselves. Stretch your legs. Avert blood clots. Drink water.
Yes.
It's
Or
good.
yeah. Get a standing desk for your best of fives,
Yeah. There you
or get one of those treadmill desks.
go. I do not doubt that those are a thing. Actually, my yeah, I have a relative who works walking, works on a treadmill
Mm-hmm.
decently often. I was very surprised by this because he's a programmer and like, can you still type like
Oh
that?
yeah,
And he's
yeah. No, I
like,
don't like
you
that.
know,
I don't like that.
he he apparently adjusted to it reasonably well, but it is less efficient than just sitting, so it's a trade off, right?
Yeah, I can barely use my phone on the treadmill.
I can type while walking in a handheld device,
Yes,
but
so
I've
I
never
can do it
tried to
while
do it on
walking,
a.
but with the treadmill I can't for some reason.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't think I've ever actually tried it. All right, Lychee initiating with the wild, or responding with wild swing. Excuse me. That's a perfectly good wild swing, honestly. We do have the cross out from Noel, who has ranged options live.
Yeah, so I believe there's one bullet storm left. Should be one optic barrel left as well.
And depending on the number of Zero-Gun Pinrears left, she has drive charge, which can make anything viable at
Correct.
range.
I one drive chart. You know what? I know it sounds weird because I'm claiming there's one of everything, but I actually do believe there's one of all of those cards left.
Hey, honestly, that would make sense. That is actually a staple of high level play, right? Is preserving options that are relevant
Yeah.
in the late game. So making sure that you keep something alive if you think you need to threaten it later is a big deal. This is actually why you'll often see more experienced players trying to maintain moderate to large hand sizes when it's, as I certainly will say with no shred of doubt, it's not necessary to have a lot of cards in your hand at a given time. If you're sticking to good ranges, if you're maintaining a good board position, as long as you're playing neutral, you don't have to have a lot of cards in hand. However, maintaining moderate hand size allows you to filter through your deck, where you're spending some cards, keeping some cards, making
Yep.
sure that you have relevant threats without giving too much information away.
Correct.
Because if you're down to one or two cards and then you expend them in some way, your opponent suddenly knows, oh, that's what you were holding, that's what you're missing.
Yeah.
Now my chances are much better at threatening you with this or that or the other. All right, so
Chimera looking
how
at
about we
that
lost track?
backside. We're at range 4. It's now
We're at range 4. It's
Lychee's
Lychee's
turn. I want to see
Okay.
removal of Mentembo into assault into something. Personally,
That'd be cute. That'd be cute. And I think
just
you
a
said both
prep.
type ones are probably down.
It's a prep, but Mentembo stays on the board.
That seems fine. I
Seems
probably
fine.
would have moved Nintendo, but it's fine. See, the thing is, you can't like you can't pick up the Mantenbo and put it in your space and take another action. So if you're either saying I'm going to pick up Mantenbo or move Mantenbo.
Fun
or do
fact.
something else.
That is news to me. I thought you could totally do that.
It says once per turn.
No, but I thought the
in your
once per
phase
turn
first.
action was you could put it on your spot.
No, you're correct. You're correct. You can do that.
Okay,
You can't pick it up, change your minds, put it down.
there you go.
But it is functionally identical to put in your space.
Ooh,
I don't know why. Yeah. Why
on
did I say it that way?
at range
That's just misleading.
4 though. It's just dive, right? From dive
no,
or
not at
the
all.
dive or
4
4 wins.
4 win, 13 orphans.
Oh,
I see 4
13
games over
orphans is live. SP5.
there. It sure is, and I think that's our second cross from Noel.
Ooh.
So this could be very, very bad. But yeah, no, I explained that in like the worst way possible.
That's okay.
You can reposition it to yourself, in which case I think the follow-up is to exceed or move it away. But in whatever case, you're either committing to doing something with Matsumo, or in this case, as we said earlier, you're spending a resource. So here goes Unarmed Lunge, Alas Kudogashi, gone forever.
13 orphans, notably 2 of them left in the deck, so more than 1.
Oh,
as opposed to every other card.
Yeah, yes. Which we know for sure of, there being 13 cards remaining, that there is exactly 1 of each of the 15 unique cards.
Correct.
Yep.
He did the math.
So, oh yeah. And I never make math mistakes. This is well known. So 13
Never.
orphans could pull into an all-green follow-up for tidy little 12-point points.
Enough damage.
Yeah. Provided, nothing goes horribly wrong in the process. So, And with no crosses, I mean, a block on the other hand is completely safe if there are any left.
Is a
Oh,
block.
well.
Oh, but it's
Yeah,
only
there you
into
go.
the 4 win, so that's not terrible.
Okay, yeah, that's not too much value lost from Lychee. It is going to cost a forest. Like, it refunds itself. This is one of the so-called fake force specials, because it's a force special that draws a card.
Yeah.
So the cost allows you to invalidate it when you wild swing it, but it doesn't really take the resource that it looks
Well,
like.
this one's not as free as Bankstyle Shuriken, right? Because that's a before. This one's only on a
Correct.
hit.
This one has to hit.
Yeah, this one has to hit.
Yes. If this gets crossed out, you're a little sadder. All right. So deciding on ordering of hit triggers, there are 2 hit triggers in play. May or may not want to gain advantage.
Surely there's a correct order to this one. Not popping.
Here's the thing: if you pop the stick, then the stick goes away, and you don't threaten 4 wins or 13 orphans anymore.
Oh, true. Wait, was this block bait? Was this the sickest block bait in the world?
May have been. I mean, into not block, it still performs pretty well, and you probably get advantage, and then you can pull in for an all green follow up. But yeah, this seems pretty viable. And at range 5, Noel's only
that one copy
without
of
a boost is Optic Barrel.
That one copy that is definitely live.
Yes, without question.
Nope.
Anyone reviewing the footage, stop that.
Please.
You don't need to.
You've been here for 3.5 hours. There's no reason for you to rewind. Well, I'm assuming if you're saying you're probably watching this it's a big change cards.
3/4 salt prayer. CC3 is not that big.
It was big in the context of she has 3 cards left in her deck now, and it was her whole hand except for 1 card.
That's fair. I do think, and now I've said this twice now, so maybe I'll be right the second time. Both readings are down on Lychee's side.
Yes, both readings are 100% down on Lychee's side.
Yeah, it was spiked. That was salt turns. You can't do it for... So, okay. TTS quirk. You take 3 individual cards, and you drop them onto a deck like that. Then TTS will put 1 at the top and the rest at the bottom. So you will botch your discard pile order. So the trick is to group the cards first, then drop them on your discard.
Oh, that's what I do normally, though.
Then you're fine. You'll never run into it.
Cool.
Yep. Yeah, it's individual cards. That's what happened.
Thank you for... Wow, so not only do we have an Exceed expert, we also have a TTS expert here.
It's years of trial and error of getting stuff to work and finding ways
listen,
it doesn't.
Takes 10,000 hours, right?
Let me check.
10,000... No, it's 10,000 hours to make an expert, something like that, right?
Yeah.
That's the same.
8,509.
You are 85.09% an expert at TTS.
There you go.
That's... How far am I? I have 700 hours, so still have a ways to go.
That's okay. Honestly, mine is deceptive because a lot of those hours, I guarantee you, I was asleep.
Well,
I would open a playtest lobby and then just leave it up.
Well, I mean that's where you you solidify those thoughts about TTS. You know, is when you sleep.
Absorb it.
That's why for any you kids out there, get a good night's sleep before your exams.
Well, yeah, maybe not because you pass out the keyboard staying up late playtesting. Lychee and
right, that's more my experience, but.
I mean, this is obviously the other 4 wins north of 13. Probably 13 now,
13,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yep. It's probably going to be 7 damage and advantage.
Oof. Things are not looking good for Zain here.
Gotta pay the gauge, friends.
And Stick's going to be off the board, so now that all green will hit at range 4.
Yep, if that's the follow-up, then that is probably lethal. All green pretty hard to dodge here. It's speed 5. That is above curve at range 4. We think both crosses are down.
Crosses are down.
We're sure both blocks are down because an unarmed lunge got parried.
And Spring Raid does not dodge this one.
Nope.
Spring Raid actually dodged an all green earlier in the set.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. I felt so good because I called it like 5 seconds before it happened, so it made me feel very good.
Nice. That's always satisfying. I think EX Assault is the only response to an all green. Of course, it might not be all green, at which point, I think if I think Lychee's trying to throw a mix up, then I run Bullet Storm, and I just say no, stop that. like a range 4 spike rather.
Mhm.
All right, Lychee making very sure of this play. There's only 7 possible cards remaining, of which Noel has 5. So whatever it is you think she might have, she probably has. It's just a question of,
The
is
real
it good
question
enough
is,
to be
are
your
we
play?
gonna finish the set in under 4 hours? We're at 3:47 right now.
Oh, please.
We're at 3:47.
Please.
That's shorter than
Look,
your Chica set that you did earlier in the week.
so is every other set of Exceed that has ever happened. That's probably not actually true. So is every other set of Exceed I can remember ever watching. There we go.
There you go.
That's true.
The longest one I'd done until today was 2 hours and 20 minutes in a best of 3.
And that's still shorter because the one I did clocked in at 1 hour per game on average. That is a thing that happens.
I've done singleton Ishe games that take an hour long, as we see the strike.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen Ishe take an hour and a half.
Assault beats the optic barrel.
Oh my! What is the optic barrel? Okay, the optic barrel was just cheeky. That was like the least safe responding.
The optic barrel beats Spike and nothing else.
I'm pretty sure that's correct. Well, it beats Spike if there's a sweep remaining, I guess. No, you actually still lose because you die.
No, that doesn't work. It's just beats Spike and nothing else.
Okay,
well,
I think I'm obligated to have rooted for Zain, but not just now because I wanted the set to be over. So,
this was a grudge match actually because Chimera lost to Zain in the last tournament.
Ah, okay, nice, settling the grudge. Hey, there's the all green. Okay, I wonder if there was a cross left.
From Noel.
Yeah, because I'm just wondering how you wouldn't play the all green.
There's 100% no crosses left from Noel. 100%. Okay. Because one was in the gauge earlier, right?
Yeah.
One was used to run to range 1. I remember that.
So here's what I'm thinking: is the only reason you don't play all green is if Noel can cross out, or no. Okay, there is another reason. If that deck might be 2 ultras.
Ooh.
Then you run assault so that you can advantage into a block.
And that deck could definitely be 2 ultras because I feel like there's 1 of each copy left.
And yeah, if that's the case, then that is legitimate reason to run the assault here as a safety cover, like the more conservative play. But yeah, nicely done. I will assume that all 4 games in the start of this game were played as well as the part I saw, which means both players played very well. Well done.
Let's say that for positivity's sake, yes.
Yes, as far as I know, this whole set was played.
The last couple games were actually quite good, quite sick, quite interesting. The first 3 were a little less so, but we're here. Thank you so much to D, aka Tarankin, aka the breakfast attendant, for joining me. Where can we find your stuff, sir?
Yeah, youtube.com/TieranKen, or maybe /user/TieranKen.
I think it's /C. I think it's /C.
Is it /C?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have
C for channel, maybe?
Okay, yeah, that would make sense. Or twitch.tv/TieranKen, I want to say.
Oh.
Is that?
Don't know.
Is that right?
I would tell you that I'm gonna link it, but everyone knows that we're not going to, so.
No, it's fine. Yeah, it's www.twitch.tv.
You know, I will link it.
It is /C. You're right. It is /C.
Okay, perfect. So check out his channel. I'm sure if you've seen my stuff, you've almost definitely seen his stuff already. He's got a lot more stuff. He's been at it for years. Thank you for joining me for the epic finale of this set. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, please take care of yourselves and don't watch this all at once.
No bloody kidding. Hey, thank you so much for having me.
Of course, it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure having you. All right, guys. That's it for me. See you next time. Bye.
That's it for me too. Bye.